Hey guys, it's Thursday, and welcome to another wonderful edition of Pedal to the Metal podcast. We have a fucking full house tonight. I am one of your hosts, John, or Animal Mother. Always to my left, as I'm pointing to my right, I have the Eroica, also known as Jeffrey. Jeff, how you doing this evening?
Not just Jeff, Jeffrey, but Jeff with a G, dude. I'm like
Yeah.
the old English Clyde version of Jeffrey.
Yeah,
So-
your family came over on the Mayflower, right?
They did, actually. They did.
They came over on the Mayflower.
Yeah, the Mayflower.
And they found
I am the spawn of incestual parents, so
They-
it's, no big deal.
they found Plymouth Rock, right?
They did.
They were the ones.
They were the ones. Yeah, no, everything's good, man. We're just busy, just wicked busy. Just
I know
doing-
it's that time of year.
It really is, and I'm a school. People know that, and I'm going to be done with school in 3 weeks. So not to rub it in anyone's face, but I got a nice 80-day vacation staring down the barrels. So I'm at with Stride.
Must be nice.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, champ.
That person you hear is a Champ from Endless Log. Champ, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing good.
What's new?
I'm like a year older. You know, I'm officially 5 days into this being 26 thing, and
Wow.
You're only 5 days. You're just a baby into this horse shit.
I know. So I've been getting all the old jokes from like everyone for like the last at least 5 days.
Oh man,
What's
I've
up, Grandpa?
completely missed out on this. Cheer up, man. The worst is yet to come.
And that voice you hear is Mickey Mouse from Disney World. Parents, lock up your kids.
No, Mickey's my fucking boss. He signs my paychecks. Are you kidding?
We have does Mickey Mouse really sign your paychecks? Do they have
Are
like
you
a
kidding?
Walt?
That
Do they
would
have
be
a Walt?
so awesome.
Do they have a Walt Disney stamp that they just still use to sign the paycheck?
I'm not sure I'm allowed to confirm or deny that.
Is his head 5 stories under?
Dude, Daisy Duck's going to cut his throat in the middle of the night if he keeps talking.
I know. No,
I
but
can
it's-
say that it's not 5 stories under the castle because the tunnel doesn't go that deep, and that's
Oh,
all I
okay.
can say.
we have Darklink affiliated with Disney World. Darklink, how you doing?
Good. Disney and this backlog pedal to the metal. I get around.
There you go. There you go. We also have. Oh yeah, Willie can't talk. Fuck you, Willie.
Fuck you,
we
Willie.
have Clyde from England. Clyde, speak up. You could tell
I'm
he's
drunk, so
he's sitting back. You got that chair lean going. You're just like, hey guys.
I'm
He looks
fine.
drunk. He looks very comfortably drunk.
I went out tonight and I had
Went
about
out
sort of
last
6
night.
pints.
6
I don't know what
pints.
time of day. I don't know what time of day or whatever it is. They had two for £5 on Stella cider
2
tonight.
for £5. No shit. That's a good deal.
That's like
And they're
20.
pint
That's like
bottles,
27
they are
bucks
as
in
well.
America.
Yeah, I know.
No. I don't deal with monopoly money. I deal with real money.
Sadly, I have no rebuttal.
We have Clyde, driver, right?
I will be. I failed my test because I knocked the cone over.
That makes sense.
We
That
have
was
Clyde-
fire.
So
I
much
wasn't-
confidence.
Well, I drove in Leicester, right? And I tell you for a fact now, none of the fuckers can drive in Leicester. I'm driving a big 12-ton truck that's
Oh,
bright white, that's got L plates, like learner plates all over it, and they fucking still pull me.
And you're driving on the wrong side of the road.
Right? These assholes have the audacity to get in his way. Hey, just turn him into a hood ornament. That'll teach the guys. in front of
I'll tell you one thing though. If the instructor wasn't in there, I would just run straight into him because I would have had a camera on my dashboard and that would have shown the court, the judge, that fucker pulled out in front of me. So whatever damage I've done to their car is irrelevant because they were in the wrong. So to them.
There we go. That's Clyde, angry British man. And we have Minish Drive-By, somebody I just met tonight. I see who he is. Minish Drive.
We've never met before.
Minish Drive-By and I have never met. Where
Yeah.
do you stem from?
I stem from Miami, basically.
No, that's not what I mean. Where do you know everybody from?
Oh, I don't know. I just see people around town.
Brilliant.
He's on System Wars Animal. Jesus.
He is. Jeez, have you
Like
never
a
seen
lot. Like a lot.
Avatar?
Yeah.
He fucking
It's
What's
posts.
his name?
He
Nope.
posts more than like every other motherfucker in here.
Nope.
Yeah.
Right
What's his name?
Right over my head. Right
What's his
over,
username? What's his username?
right over my head. Minish Drive-By,
Minish
how you
Drive-By.
doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good.
I'm so
I guess-
excited to talk to you guys because I've just been listening to frogs for the past 8 hours.
For what? What reason?
He's
Um,
here. He's in Miami. It's fucking humid as shit, and he's probably
Well-
got swamp ass, and the frogs are.
I'm doing research on frogs, so I have to listen to them for 8 hours.
That's
What have
crazy.
you discovered about frogs?
They're really
Yo,
really
frogs, the worst.
What do you want to be, a biologist?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm going to pharmacy, but I have a research internship this summer, and we're studying evolution of frogs. So that's why I'm listening to them for 8 hours.
Great. Now that we know
Yeah.
everyone's detailed information, we can all where everyone lives. I'm John, and I live by the Roosevelt Field Mall. So
I live
what's
down
No
the
shit, you
road.
really live right near the Roosevelt Field Mall?
Yep.
So
One
if
of my
anybody
jobs
wants-
is almost right next to that mall.
See, Champ knows where I live. I'm fucking.
You're quite lucky because I haven't got police cars and ambulances going up and down my road, so right next to a hospital.
We
I
have
get all the drunks. I get all the drunks. Good job it didn't record it tomorrow because it's Friday night tomorrow, so I'll have every Tom, Dick, and Harry going up and down there, kicking off, and bins over.
Oh no.
Arseholes.
We live by
Breaking cars.
we live by a ghetto, so during the summertime we hear the
I live in the
gunshots.
ghetto.
Oh, brilliant! Well, we hope you're safe, Clyde. So let's move on to the next segment. What's everyone been playing? Let's start with Minish Cap. Minish Cap, what have you been
Minish cap.
playing? Minish Cap Drive By. Minish whatever, man.
Hey,
Guy who studies frogs.
Now
yeah.
that you've described him as, I'm sorry to cut you off, but now that you've described him as Minish Cap, I'm picturing like this like fusion between like the Minish Cap Zelda and then like some Grand Theft Auto knockoff. Like Link just finally said fuck it and just started just going around Hyrule with guns.
that's actually
that,
where I got the username from. They're still riding around on caterpillars, drive-bying people.
the Minish
I would
people.
play that video game.
Yeah, I was trying to make it, so
Just,
I would play that
just
game
mod
for about
GTA
30 minutes.
awesome.
Mod GTA 4 with Link and the Minish people, and the city will be
Yeah, there we
30
go.
times larger, and you can do drive-bys on caterpillars or hot dogs, whatever floats your fucking boat.
I had hot dogs for dinner. There we
God.
go. Yeah.
Me too.
You're gonna
Yeah.
know entirely too much about everybody on this podcast.
I know.
So what are you playing?
Playing Metroid Fusion right now.
Nice.
Yeah. Decided to start it up. I had it from the ambassador program like 2 years ago, so I decided I'm doing the there's a 52 games challenge on NeoGAF, so I decided like, hey, why not? Let's try it. So game 31 is Metroid Fusion.
Oh, you have to beat a specific 52, or is it 52 games in 52 weeks?
It's 52 games, 52 weeks.
Okay.
Wow, that's a lot.
Because I know someone, Aaron Mullen, that did that last year, and he destroyed the 52 part. I think he hit like 70.
Yeah, he hit like
Yeah,
72. Same. I was like, dude, Jesus.
I
Come on.
wish I had that amount of time in my life.
Yeah, that's like
Right?
not even
I just-
attainable.
Yeah,
So have you hit 30? Like this is your 32nd game, right? In the 52 weeks.
I think
Or
it's
are
my
you just picking up?
No, I think it's my 31st game. I've mostly been playing freeware titles and a lot of the Ludum Dare challenge games, which were it's a contest where developers make games in 48 hours. So they have 48 hours to make the game. They're usually really short indie titles, but a lot of them are pretty cool. One of the past few games I played was
Zero
Yes, he
grounds
has-
for complaints.
What?
what's that?
I'm sorry. Got
Oh.
Zero grounds. I like it. Just saying.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. My review?
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. It just puns.
Oh, no, that's
Puns
cool.
are good.
God, Darklink, just go back to fucking that already.
Yo, Epcot is a travesty. That's where we send people who aren't good enough for the Magic Kingdom. Or who want to get drunk.
I love Epcot.
Epcot's great. If you go on a day where there's like food and you're just like, I'm gonna drink my way around the
Some
world.
of these other games you were playing that were making numbers.
But it's playing The Sea Has No Claim, which is Lucas Pope game, the guy who made Papers, Please.
Right.
It was based off of the Malaysian flight, the Malaysian airline thing.
No
So
way.
basically, yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Did you
But,
find the plane in the end?
You find multiple planes, but the whole premise is that you're a search party out in the sea, and you have different means of locating planes and crew members in the sea. It's a really short title, but it's pretty cool. Thought that should get some notice.
Papers,
I don't-
Please was like one of the biggest indie games last year. Glad to see that guy is doing some more stuff. Is that it? You have fallen silent. Minish drive by.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, it's been a lot of freeware games because I've been so busy this year with school and shit.
And broke as well. And broke.
And broke. Yeah, broke too.
One would imagine 52 games in 52 weeks is expensive.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
if
you know,
own
if
them.
you're playing old shit like Metroid Fusion, I would imagine it's not that bad.
Yeah,
Not
well,
too bad. Yeah.
Nintendo still charges a pretty decent premium for a Game Boy Advance game. Isn't it like $6 or $7?
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
got into the
$7.
ambassador program, so worst case scenario, he's paying for 51. And if he's smart, I'm sure you've got a big ass backlog like the rest of us, right? Most
yeah,
of this stuff is backlog. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's try and move it along, guys. We got 5 other
Sorry.
people to ask.
Wait.
What? Hey, Dad.
Last question.
Okay.
Where did you find out, like, information about, like, this weird little 48-hour project? Like, did you get NeoGAF, or is it, like, a website? Anyone?
Oh yeah. I'll type the link in here, but I found it on indiestatic.com. They have like a bunch of indie game stuff, and they cover that Loot 'em Dare challenge. It's like they've done 29 so far. I don't know. You guys should check it out. It's pretty cool.
Thanks.
Definitely. Thank
But
you.
yeah, I'll type the link in as well. Yeah, definitely.
Let's get Dark Link up next. He's a fucking chatty Cathy tonight. Jesus. What
I'm
Disney?
always a chatty cat. Come on.
You sound so much like one of my friends. I just want to see a picture of you to see if
Dude,
you look like him.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Really?
That's who we
You were
is.
the second fucking person who said I sound like Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, you do.
I do not sound like him.
Yeah, a
No,
little bit.
he sounds like my friend who's a web programmer. Sounds exactly like him.
Man,
I
is his
can't-
name Jesse Eisenberg?
No, his name's not Jesse Eisenberg.
I'm glad I sound
fucking
like
actor.
everybody's friend or like a famous fucking celebrity. That's
So
good.
Dark Link, what the fuck are you doing besides holding Mickey Mouse's deep dark secrets?
Well, that's a full-time job. But so lately I've been playing Transistor, Drakengard 3. I also
Is that
playing...
any good, Drakengard?
It's interesting. It's fun. I'm having a good time. It's a lot funnier than you think it would be. Like the jokes are actually legitimately funny.
Mhm.
You know, the gameplay's pretty solid. It's kind of Dynasty Warriors-y. I haven't finished it yet, but it's good stuff. I got Soul Survivor, Merge Soul Suspect the other day, and before that I was working on... Oh, Jesus, what was the last game I reviewed?
Wasn't it Transistor? That's the last
No,
one.
it was after Transistor.
Wolfenstein?
Wolfenstein: The New Order. Yes.
Oh, how you liking Wolfenstein?
Wolfenstein is awesome.
I hear good
Wolfenstein
things, but yeah.
surprised me. Jeff, I'm gonna send it to you once I'm done.
Yeah, do that, because I won't buy it.
Yeah. I hope
just
you-
saying, I'm
I
just
hope
saying.
you- I hope you send it back to me.
I will, I'll send it back to you.
I doubt it.
Out of those three,
Mine.
I mean, I'm paid to play games. Out of those three, Transistor was awesome. Wolfenstein is great. Anybody looking for an old school shooter with some good writing, interesting ideas as far as design goes, and just a lot of like Nazi killing awesomeness should definitely pick that game up.
I think Wolfenstein's a really great comedy game. Like BJ Blazkowicz being the kind of self-commentary on old first-person shooters.
Is wonderful.
It's great because it's like a grit teeth. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill Nazis. Fuck these Nazis and their goddamn boats and trains." And
The best part to me was you've beaten the game, right?
no, I haven't yet. I'm at the last mission.
Okay, so you're at the last. You've gotten to the part where I'm coming.
spoilers inbound. Spoilers inbound.
Yeah,
Alright,
let's
you guys
not,
are second
how about
then?
let's not spoil it. Like, us are gonna play the game.
Darklink personal message it to me.
Okay, all right.
Darkling.
Yo,
They're,
How is,
spoil- they're spoiling games that are 2 weeks old.
yeah, right. I'm sorry. This review. I'm sorry
I didn't mean to cut
Sorry
you off,
for-
Minish. Go ahead.
for having review
I know.
notes. I really
How-
am.
Are How are the dragon sections in Drakengard 3? Like, how do they
Um,
work?
They are kind of rail shootery.
Okay.
So.
Well,
you can
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I know I played the first one when it came out, but I know you're talking about like the hack and slash sections like Dynasty Warrior.
Yeah.
In the first one, you could like jump on your dragon at any time. Can you do that in the third one?
No.
No?
As far
Okay.
as not at any point I've gotten to yet, you cannot. The dragon sections are kind of their own standalone areas.
Okay.
So no, I mean that would be cool, but the environments really aren't big enough for it.
Yeah, yeah. And in the first one, they had really wide open. So it was kind of like a interesting twist on like the Dynasty, because the game was basically Dynasty Warriors in the first one as well. And then they had their own like closed off dragon sections as well, but you could jump onto your dragon during the hack and slash sections.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple sections where we're just flying, and then there's somewhere you can walk around on the ground and set everything on fire, and then jump up in the air and light people on fire from up there. But jumping on and off hasn't happened yet. I think it would break the game the way the game is right now, because they're not throwing too much stuff at you at any given point.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you could just set everything on fire whenever you wanted, it'd be like, well, look, that thing is like a 30 fucking story tall beast, and I have a dragon, so goodbye, boss. You know. It's pretty interesting. It's good stuff. That's what I've been working on mostly.
Nice.
But if I had to say, Transistor's awesome. Everybody should play it. Wolfenstein is also awesome. Everybody should play it. Drakengard is going to be really niche, but like if you're looking for is actually legitimately well written and funny and unique, then you should play Drakengard, especially if you like Nier. So
Cool. How about Clyde? What are you playing now?
I've been playing. I haven't really been playing much. I haven't had time to, but I started Overlord a little while ago, like yesterday or the day before. I was looking through my Steam, and I was bored out of my skull. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, what am I going to do? And I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to play something. I thought, you know what, I'll play on Overlord. I played it on the 360, didn't really get on with it very well because the control schemes were shit. But on the PC, it's actually pretty good. Like the mouse, it actually benefits from the mouse and keyboard, and it actually makes the game bearable. And it's got that Fable sort of charm to it. It's got that English charm, and it's just like it's Fable, but it's not shit. It's Fable without the like the excessive promises and shit like that. At the moment, like I'm playing that and the usual Mech Warrior stuff because I like that game.
Is Fable is Fable the most overpromised game in history?
Not really. It's the same because I was talking about that today with a friend of mine with 3 and that in the pub. And he mentioned Project Natal, going off on a tangent here. And do you remember the E3 demo where they had Milo, where Peter Molyneux came out?
Yep.
And you the woman handed the bit of paper, so he wrote something on a bit of paper and that. And people were saying, oh, this is going to be really awesome, really awesome. And then the only thing we got out of it was Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah, we got 100% of what they promised.
Yeah, but
you guys should know better than to believe Peter Molyneux at this point.
Yeah, I know that, but we were discussing it, and like I'm going off on a tangent here, completely irrelevant from what I was talking about earlier. But the whole promises you get at E3, it's like, oh, there's going to be this and that. And we were discussing like the really bad E3s, and do you remember when the guy saw the underside of an Avatar's shoe is, and he's like, bam, there it is, and it's like, really? Did you really just do that? Or the guy, Nintendo stage where they had their version of Rock Band, and the guy's like that. Shaking his arms and looking like a prude.
An idiot, yeah.
Fuck Connect. You know what?
Fuck Connect. It's just fuck Connect, period. So,
I just bought one.
Why would you spend money on that?
It was a really good deal.
How good is a good deal? Because if
So
someone
this is like Steam sale syndrome. Like I have no interest in this game, but goddamn, it's on sale for 80% off.
Speaking of Steam, I actually have the Dead Rising 3 page up on Steam.
Fuck those people.
If you didn't know,
2 weeks I bought an Xbox One, and they're like, everyone's like,
Dead
Rising 3
right now. It appeared
exclusives.
It appeared on the Steam database, and lo and behold, it says available summer 2014.
Yeah, I think we all
right
knew was going to happen. Dead Rising, aside from the first one, is a classic multi-plat franchise. Since Dead Rising 2,
I love playing Dead Drive. One of the first games, my friend had it for his 360. When I bought mine, I borrowed it from him. The first game I played, because I remember he told me this joined Xbox Live, and I just sent him a message and started talking to him. I was like, I'm chopping zombies' heads off. This is so fucking cool. But I couldn't read the text because I had a shitty TV at the time. But then that was such is life, really.
Yeah, that's when HD TVs were starting to become really big, and they were still really expensive. It's funny. I'm a very habitual person. I go to Best Buy once a week, and they finally released those 4K curved OLED TVs for like $5,000.
Yeah. I tell you what,
they're gorgeous.
I've done a build for my PC that I'm going to be getting at one point, and it's got 3 27, 26, 25 6040 monitors, an extra an Intel i7 4930K, 32 gigs of RAM, Asus Rampage Extreme Black, and another Titan, but I'm limited to one Titan Black per order, which is annoying, so I can't get SLI for that. So I'm going to sell my 780 Ti. 2 gigs of RAM.
Man, first world problems. I can only buy Titans one at a time.
Yeah, I know. Champ's totally listening to the feed. So let's kick everything over to Champ. And Champ, before you tell us what you're playing and we get into our pre-E3 hype, have you ever played... What?
What?
We're talking E3 tonight, dude.
Shit, I have so much news.
Well, we can talk news too, but we're talking E3 too. Otherwise we'll be going against the Twitch feed that Willie has made for us. So,
oh Jesus, I haven't even looked at it yet.
Yeah, so don't fuck up. We talked about Peter Molyneux, Champ. Have you ever played Goddess?
Got it. One of his
the one that he just came out with. Didn't
the mobile one.
No.
Point and click.
I was just wondering. Have any of you guys played it?
I'm gonna assume that's all of them saying no.
Okay.
I've seen it.
I love how everyone's head nodding, forgetting the fact that they should be saying it on.
They should say something, yeah. Anyway, so Champ, what do you? I was just wondering because I don't know. I've read a few things about it and highs and lows. But anyways, if no one's played it, it's not worth talking about. So Champ, what are you playing right now?
Well, I mean, if you want to talk Peter Molyneux, I was gonna ask never mind. You can skip him, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah,
what have I been playing? Today I just played a little bit of Child of Light again. I'm trying to finish that.
Yeah.
Because it said I'd write something on that game, and so far I'm super indifferent towards that game.
Yeah, I feel the same way. What chapter are you on?
8.
Okay, I'm on 6.
It's okay.
Beyond that,
Ground Zero.
What? Yeah. I had all my enthusiasm in Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. I was pretty into that. I got a review code for Van Helsing Adventure 2, which if you do the System Wars thing where you look at the Metacritic and you're like, oh look, 80 something. That seems like it might be a fun game, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's like a Diablo. It's like a Diablo styled game.
Yeah.
And of the genres that would be at the top of the fucking mountain in terms of games I don't want any part of, Diablo-styled loot games are probably number one. Mm-hmm. Because I just think they're number crunch fests and they're boring.
Yep.
And so that's been a bit of a hurdle. Otherwise, I played a story about my uncle. That was weird, I guess.
I've never even heard of it. Indie, I'm assuming.
So it's like this first-person platforming game, right? And the movement's very much like Mirror's Edge, and there's this weird group, right?
Okay. And
so the idea is, it was the school project for if I remember the backstory right, university. But so for a class, they were told you have to make a first-person game and make it non-violent, right? Okay. So the natural direction they went was with the platformer, and usually. First-person games try to cheat around making a platformer. They'll make the platforms really big, or they'll they'll make your character floaty, so that way you hang time to land on your point. This game is a little bit more just honestly trying to pull it off, and it does it on varying degrees of success. On a mechanical level, the sheer sense of vertigo you get in the early going of the game. Is probably the type of shit that would make anyone that loved Mirror's Edge really excited.
Right.
The problem is it's just a really repetitive game after a while. The best comparison I come up with after the fact is that 2008 Prince of Persia.
Yep.
Maybe if you buy into it, you'll think of it as a super calming, relaxing game, right? But if you're actually playing it for extended hours, it's kind of boring.
It's the same shit over and over again. Yeah, I gotcha. All right, cool. So, Animal, what are you playing right now?
Ooh, I'm playing a lot of things. I'm playing a lot of Dota 2. Love me the Dota.
Why?
Yeah.
He is the Brad Shoemaker of.
I am the Brad Shoemaker of Pedal to the Metal. What do you mean? Why am I playing Dota 2? I've been playing Dota.
Toxic,
Oh,
man.
Animal,
It's
don't
toxic. It's toxic.
Animal, do not.
The community
do not
is
feed
toxic.
into them.
Oh my god! I have been playing Dota for 10 fucking years.
I know your stats are ridiculously scary.
What do you mean my stats? I have come over and played Dota 2.
I know he comes out of underneath your couch and just appears at your fucking at your computer.
No, it's funny. It's funny. We were doing the first video podcast.
I play Dota 2 now, sir.
Well, that's what happened. We were doing the first live podcast. Well, not live podcast. We were doing the first video podcast. One of my friends walks in. His name. I will bar his name from this discussion. He walks in. He's Korean. He walks in, sits down, doesn't say a word to anybody, and just starts playing Dota. And Roika and Heil just go, "What's going on?"
Yeah, the little Chinese guy just walked into your house and sat down.
I just started playing Dota. No, I've been playing a lot of Dota. Excited for the international. And speaking of fucking repetitive, champ, does anybody here want to talk about Watch Dogs a little bit?
Yeah, I do.
That game sucks.
Whoa.
I want to tell you.
Utter trash.
Wait a second. Let me finish.
Wait, no, time out.
Shut up. No. You time out.
No. I don't get to do this
I'm the
on my
host of
own
the show. You
podcast.
time out,
I don't
bitch.
get to do this on my own podcast, so I want to say this.
Okay.
Because I've been saying this ever since they announced it. Since the first footage they showed on System Wars, I said that game would suck. I said Ubisoft would be Ubisoft. They would make the Ubisoft game where it sounds a really good idea, but they fuck up the execution 6 ways to Sunday, and they fucking did it.
We'll
Congratulations.
We'll get it.
It's perfect. It's got the same fucking Metascore as the original Assassin's Creed, and that should tell you everything you need to know. It's hey, look, good ideas.
We will get into this. We will get into this. Anyways, I'm playing Watch Dogs, and speaking about repetitive, 40 fucking fixer contracts? What the fuck?
Dude, they pop up every 30 seconds.
I know, it's so annoying, though, because when I feel like I want to go to a main mission, I feel like the game is pulling me away.
Just don't go, man. Just don't go.
I can't.
You're stuck in the same world I was with GTA 4 when I'm I'm gunning people down on the side of the road, and Roman wants to go fucking bowling, and I'm like,
that's
all
what
right.
I was about to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going bowling.
You went bowling?
Yeah,
everyone bowling.
There's a little some of the story. Right? When we're speaking of GTA, when we went to go and get it in the midnight launch, the game store where I pick up the games is in the middle of town, so it's full of drunks. There's a whole line of us lining up, and these.
I'm sensing a theme to all of Clyde's story.
I want to go to where Clyde lives.
Really?
Clyde lives in a world where there's a bar at every corner.
It's called living in the studio. There's just bars everywhere.
Oh, it's like college.
He's living the dream.
But we were sort of waiting to queue, and these drunks come up, and they're all. I think they were foreign. I think Polish or something like that. And as they walk away, I said to my mate, and I shout out really loud, and I say, "Hey, cousin, let's go bowling."
Weren't
they really loud? And they turned around again. What was that?
Well,
Clyde, that was the weakest drunk story I've ever heard.
I'm sobering up now, and my roommates are asleep.
He's sober now.
5 fucking weeks.
So let's get it,
wait,
shots
let me finish. Let me finish.
All right, we'll set it up because I want to talk about Watch Dogs. I've been waiting fucking 2 weeks to talk about Watch Dogs.
I've been playing Transistor and Wolfenstein as well. Wolfenstein's really awesome game. Check it out. And Transistor, fucking A. Greg Kasavin. I want to.
Savin.
Because whatever the fuck his name.
Even.
I want a big poster of him on my wall with that long. Fuck you. Long flowing hair. Just
what flowing hair?
You've never seen that picture of him with long hair?
He's bald now, though.
Hold on.
You guys should tongue kiss him.
You just literally ruined Animal's narrative.
Have you seen?
Here's the picture.
You seen Greg Kasavin?
No, that's the picture I want.
Yo, for
Oh
real
my
though,
God. That has to be like before GameSpot though.
that's some like John Romero shit right there.
That's
Yeah.
like is that from like his yearbook or something? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know where that photo came.
that's his 8th grade transition picture.
It's the man who created Transistor.
And
I will say, not his best work. Better job.
Interesting.
I think both games are comparable to style and stuff like that. Like you can compare them and put them on some level with the narrator and the storytelling, but I think the gameplay of both games are so vastly different. That,
I'm just comparing his writing. I think his writing
Oh.
in Bastion was better.
I think he was a writer in either game, was he?
No, he's the lead writer for both.
yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I think his narrative in Bastion is better. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to throw Transistor under the bus. I think it's wonderful. It doesn't gel as nicely as it should. Bastion, like from beginning to end, kind of fits nicely. Transistor has all these little moments of like, wait a minute, that doesn't like. You get these moments where like things don't get explained, and your immediate reaction is that doesn't like follow the rules of the. And to figure out like what the hell's going on.
All right. So now that Eroika's got a stiffy, let's talk about the fucking elephant in the room. I was going to say horse in the room. I'm fucking
A horse
British.
in the room.
Yeah, like a fucking Brit. Let's talk about Watch Dogs.
Let's talk about Watch Dogs. Wait,
First
are we talking about Watch Dogs with an S or Watch Dogs with a Z?
with a Z. First
Okay.
off,
What's dogs?
everyone who has played it, just say played it.
Played it.
Played it.
It sucks, and I played it.
Shut up.
I haven't played it.
I think that
Shut up. We will get into this. We will get into this. Calm your tits, Gong Dip. Whatever your name is.
Gong Dip?
Gong Dip. So Eroika's played it. I've played it.
Yeah. Get
Dark-
on with it. I want to fucking know what
Played
you
it.
want to talk about.
Yes, tell us why you don't think it sucks.
I
Even
haven't
though
played
every
it, but
I
I'll
never
go
said I never said I don't think it sucks. I don't think it's phenomenal. I think it's just an okay
It's
game.
the Ubisoft game.
Yeah,
I think
It's an okay game.
Can I take? Let me take this. I'm going to tell you what I think about it. All right. The problem I have with isn't the fact that the game is moderately fun in stretches. Like that they do right. The online modes. I'm going to go ahead and say this, and I don't care if it pisses anyone off. I enjoy what it does online with connectivity with other people better than what GTA does. I do. I think that the whole online hacking and observing and races are more seamless, and I think that it's much more engaging than just driving around with your buddies knocking over grocery store or fucking convenience stores in GTA. Outside of that, the game is like it's just common fare open world. They did absolutely nothing to augment the genre in any way, shape, or form. And not that they have to, but when they're going to align themselves so blatantly with every other game that they've ever made on that scale, I just can't let it have a pass. And that's what bugs me about it. It's the characters are not endearing. The story is absolute garbage at this point. I mean, I don't know what I'm maybe 15 main missions in. I've played the game for maybe 8 hours, and going around doing the fixer missions and things like that. Is there things to do in the game? Yes. Are the things that are in the game fun to do? Some are okay, some are just passing the time. None of them, I would say, are fantastic or even approaching great. The game is a good time dump, but outside of that, I like what it does with the online. Outside of that, it's drab. It's drab open world. That's how I see it. Champ, what do you think?
Gong Dip.
No, I think
you wanna chime
Animal
in?
should get his say. Like, let's protect the game. I think you've covered most of my complaints. I would go to more of an extreme length. I would say it's as generic of an Ubisoft game as you can get.
Yeah, I agree.
There's nothing that game does that you haven't seen done before, and frankly, better. Like if we were, and when it comes to like execution, what does it execute well when you really think? Because the mission
Nothing.
designs are as ordinary open world action games as you can get. follow the guy,
Yep.
and you'll auto fail if you get too close mission, because of course that needs to still be in here. There is the control this tower thing to open up more of the map thing going on. There's the this guy is running away, so now you have to chase him mission. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then there's the typical go shoot dudes in the face mission that you're gonna get in these type of games.
Yep.
Is the gunplay at least good?
It's
Okay.
ordinary. It's average.
It's
just
everything is as you
Standard.
would expect. It's
It's just-
So
They're all
it's the
very
Ubisoft
standard.
game.
It is the
Ubisoft.
Yes. Will, it is the Ubisoft game.
See listen, I don't want to defend Watch Dogs.
Yes,
Listen,
you
it's-
do. Go ahead.
No, it's like you guys are saying. It's very average, and I enjoy it as one of those kind of middle tier games that don't exist anymore. It just kind of fills the void while something better is being developed. Now, I guess
but that bugs me. It just sold 4 million copies.
Wait, but
There's
wait,
4
is
million
Is this the
fucking
point where we
people,
talk
and I'm
about
one
the
of them.
part that, like,
But-
you know, it's the best-selling new IP of all time,
but there's
as like
there's
the filler game?
but there's a problem to that. See, and I'm gonna commend Ubisoft here, not for making a good game, but for being very smart about it. If you think very logically about this, we saw Watch Dogs at E3 2012, right?
Right.
That means Watch Dogs must have been in pre-production circa 2010-ish,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
development must
Older
have
than
started probably.
No, I think
Development-
2 years pre-production is probably.
Yeah.
It's been in development for more than 4 years.
So when I mean the amount of time that Soft and this and Watch Dogs has been in production, I don't think anybody should have expected anything more than a standard open world game. I mean, think about it. The reason Ubisoft played it smart is because on a very high-end PC at E3 2012, when next-gen console chatter was at its highest, because that's when we thought we were going to get them.
That's where you're going to bite. This is what you can get. And everybody
Wait,
in.
just so it's clear, you're telling us
it sucked.
was
It, no,
a
it sucked.
brilliant-
It, no, I'm saying Ubisoft is smart. They sucked everybody in with a. They didn't promise anybody anything either, and that's the thing.
So you're saying is that
Everyone
we're all a
else-
bunch of suckers, really?
yeah, we are.
Well,
You're
time out.
bitching.
You're all a bunch of suckers.
Hey, I didn't buy this game. I'm not a sucker.
I did.
I bought it. I mean, listen. I don't. Listen. At
I
the
didn't
end of
buy
the day, I enjoy video games, and I don't like. Yeah, sometimes some are just average, and sometimes I buy shitty video games, but I don't
I think
sit
if
and
there
say.
was ever an example of video game critics don't know how to be critics, a game like this, as average as you can possibly get, is batting an 82.
Right? It's
Like,
Assassin's
how
Creed
the
all over
hell?
again.
How the, when the words you're using in your own review are standard, by the numbers, derivative,
Generic.
hodgepodge, generic. When you're using those words in your review, and then in the same breath you're like 8 out of 10. It's like, no, that's
But wait,
you're
but
describing
that's
an average game. And
But it doesn't stop from people. It doesn't stop people from enjoying the game.
no, so see, here's the problem.
A great game is
it
not
says-
by the
it
numbers
says-
average. You've seen this
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, the
It's
problem
not a
is
great game.
the fallacy that if something is fun, it must. You can make something make it fun. Bad Boys 2 is a bad movie. That is a fun watch if you watch it with friends. In the same context, I don't think brute force or something like that is necessary, but you will have fun. You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like Watch Dogs, the stuff that makes it fun is it's fun in a very simple way, in that still shooting dudes in the face is still enjoyable in stretches.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much accurate. I mean, that's really what it comes down. My frustration with Watch Dogs is that I feel like if I and Champ's gonna laugh at me when I say this, but I feel like if I knew that the game was just gonna be common
Ubisoft
fare,
game?
the Ubisoft game, I probably would have just waited before I bought it. I wouldn't have bought it at $60 because there's nothing. I mean, they're really outside of the fun in the online hacking. There's really nothing in the game that raises my blood pressure and makes me go, "Wow, man, this is fucking high octane games at the cutting edge." And you're right, Animal. In a way, I mean, nobody has to make a game that pushes. I mean, you can be the great summarizing game. A game that takes all the great conventions of the time and execute it really, really well, and say
You can be Uncharted too.
right. Or I was even going to say like Tomb Raider. Like Tomb Raider is a game that reminds me of like a lot of like elements of that game. Were done fairly well that were popular at the time, and like that's why it's a good game. But I didn't play Tomb Raider thinking, wow, this really pushes gaming forward. I just thought it's really fun. But Watch Dogs
nothing
is
has
so
pushed gaming since the beginning. I mean, aside from indies, I think nothing has really pushed gaming since Gen 7. And
Well,
there was some stuff early this gen that pushed it.
I don't think
early this gen, what pushed it this
Ground
gen?
Zeroes.
It just
That is one of the few
but
games
see, that's proof that could have been done last gen though too.
You can't do. I don't think you could do Ground Zeroes last gen. I think the AI.
It's on PS3.
did it on last gen.
Did it on last gen, you fucking idiot.
Not to the same extent, though. Not to the same extent.
What do you mean to the same extent? They're the same games.
Yeah.
It's not the same game.
The same game because the clouds don't look as fucking pretty. What are you saying?
There are ideas in that game that you could not have done on a game running on fun.
But it is. But
I'm talking about
all those missions are there in the 360 and PS3 version. He is correct about that one.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna say like
2001. Wait. Were you talking about
2006 Dark Link?
Yeah.
Are we talking about Metal Gear Solid 4?
We're talking
No,
about
we're
Ground Zeroes.
Ground
You fucking
Zeroes.
idiot.
Okay, I know. Which one are we saying did this at what point? Are we talking
Metal
about?
Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes?
I know.
yeah, I said
Prologue.
that feels okay. So we got
But
lost
my
in this
point is-
tangent.
Lost in confusion here.
I said my point was you couldn't have done that last gen. That's all I'm saying. Or not last gen, but the gen before. Like,
But they
Well,
basically
what I'm saying. I think you misconstrued my point. What
I
I'm
think
saying is, I'm saying a lot of gameplay mechanics still of Gen 7 have become very standardized.
oh yeah.
Once 2008, 2009 hit, we haven't really seen a lot of new stuff. And a lot of the new stuff, yeah, I remember when Clyde was going to talk. A lot of the new stuff has really come from indies. And the last thing I want to say is, we will. 1 second. Is Ubisoft one of the most hit or miss studios ever? I mean, did everyone here enjoy Far Cry 3?
oh my god, I loved it.
It's the Ubisoft game. It's
didn't
just a
play
better
it.
version of the Ubisoft.
Hey,
It
Clyde,
is.
what do you think?
Or yeah, hey Clyde, or Assassin's Creed 4. Clyde, what do you think about Watch Dogs?
I'm not particularly bothered about what's in the game. I'm more bothered about there was another user on System Wars. I think his name is Ragnarok who brought this up. It's about how much DLC and shit was cut from the main game to make that. And I found a thread on video games on 4chan that actually links a table of what is actually available version.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't actually buy a limited edition now that's got everything. LA edition you play and it's got something in it, and you buy the limited edition hard copy for the PC, it's got something else in it.
Fucking editions.
Yeah, it's like none of them have the same shit in them. And like I checked Steam today, right? And bearing in mind this game came out last week, and there's already DLC for it. It's like, well, what's the fucking point? You might as well not buy the game and then pick it up when the Game of the Year edition comes out. And you get fucking everything for £5. It's pointless now, and that's the tradition that we're going for. It's the same. Like they make the game, and then they go back and they cut content, and it's like, why am I going to pay for that?
Yeah.
When I can just buy that. That's the rise of the free-to-play games now, where you've got this early access stuff that, like, I was speaking to a friend of mine about Space Engineers, because that's a free-to-play. It's not free-to-play, it's the early access. £10. And that's like, you're getting content every week. It's like, fair enough, it's buggy and things don't work because it's early access. But I perceive that as better value than Watch Dogs, even though I say it's a finished game, and I use that in the loosest sense of the word. But that's the industry that we're in now, and like I'm getting bored of it, I'm getting tired of it, and it's just the same shit over and over again. And eventually, everybody else is going to get tired of it, and it's going to be like, well, where we are now, all these little indie games on the side.
Yeah.
People are going to go, oh, that's kind of fun. I'm going to play that. I'm going to play that. I'm going to play that, and then they're going to go back to games. And they're going to find like where they enjoy games, and like this all the shit. I was in game today, and I saw a pre-order for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and it's not
The joke has finally come true.
It's just, in fact, it's they haven't even bothered to advance, like just to progress it. They just changed the name. It's now gone from modern to advanced. Just why? Just a waste of time.
It's a level above modern.
Gen 9 will be futuristic warfare.
Maybe I'm just getting old now, but
No,
I've
you're
been playing video
right.
games
You're
since I
hitting
was
it on the
5.
head. You're hitting it on the head, and that's an Ubisoft, and you can tell me, Ubisoft has become one of the most frustrating developer publishers because they've literally taken I'm just going to call it the Assassin's Creed design, or as Dark Link has been calling it, the Ubisoft game, and they've been like stretching, like trickling it out now. So like you can, we're getting to a point where, depending on how they execute Far Cry 4, which I think Far Cry 4 is going to get pushed to 2015, but
no,
that's a fight that Animal and I have been having most recently. We're approaching a point in time where the Ubisoft game will be refreshed every couple of months, because you've got 2 Assassin's Creed games coming out in November. You've got Watch Dogs and a shitload of DLC, and then you've got Far Cry. So Far Cry is slated for the middle of November, and
Far Cry's gonna get pushed back.
That's what I said.
They're not gonna eat their own sales. Doesn't make sense.
Thank you. That's what Animal and I made a $20 Steam credit bet. He says it's going to release in 2014, and I said no way, March of 2015.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would back that second horse.
How?
Because they're going to cannibalize. There's 2 full-length Assassin's Creed games at the end of October, November.
Ubisoft get themselves into this position. How that they release so many fucking games? Is there going to be a point in time where Ubisoft says, fuck it, we can't release anything?
No, they're just going to release it's going to be called the Ubisoft game, and like every couple of hours when you play, it's going to go from Far Cry to Assassin's Creed to Watch Dogs. It's going to keep cycling for endless hours.
I think the biggest
problem... To be fair, though, like, this wasn't a recent trend. Like, remember Gen 6, they were all about Tom Clancy. I mean, you could not go maybe 5 months before something Tom Clancy related was coming.
All right, that's fair enough, but as far as like a gameplay, there's a pretty vast difference between what Splinter Cell was doing and what Ghost Recon was doing.
Right, but at the same time, like, even when Ubisoft was on point making great games, I feel like they've always been an inconsistent company, especially because like they had so many internal people making their games. Like, even like look at their just resume from this gen. The 2 Rayman games are good, and then let's look at Assassin's Creed. 1, 3, and Revelations, I think no one's going to argue weren't very good games, or at least were throwaways. But then 2, Brotherhood, and 4 are games people would argue are fun.
Right.
And then you have Splinter Cell, which went from Double Agent, which no one really was particularly fond of, like as far as the fan base is concerned.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
You have Conviction, which me and Eroica would argue to hell and high. And then you have Blacklist, which the people that have played it really like it, but it's just flew under the radar. And then you have Far Cry 2, which shit show, but then Far Cry 3, not a shit show.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they've always been all over the map, and Watch Dogs just feels like the game that ended up on the wrong side of the map. And I guarantee you, come this fall, maybe not Far Cry or Assassin's Creed, but something else Ubisoft related will be like, oh, that was a great thing Ubisoft did.
I just find it really irritating that they come along and they push the game back for a month. It's like, all right, fair enough. I expect it to be good. And I just, like, you see the stuff now, it's just like, the game's been in development for 8 extra months on top of 4 years of development. And it's still like that. Yeah, it's still buggy as shit, and it's just like, why? I'm not paying 40 quid for that.
Exactly. I wrote that on Endless Backlog. In the Watch Dogs thread, I wrote what was the purpose of them pushing this game off when they literally just made another Ubisoft game? Like, was there something they didn't know how to code? Go ahead.
I think the problem with like Ubisoft as a publisher is they've gotten so big and they've become so reliant on, like, every year we're going to have an Assassin's Creed, like every 2 years we're going to have Far Cry, that these teams have gotten so big. I mean, you look at the Assassin's Creed credits, they're like fucking 20 minutes long. Same thing for Watch Dogs, I'd imagine. I haven't seen them, but 600 plus people worked on that game. At some point when everybody makes something, it's going to feel like nobody made it. It's going to feel like We put this in a factory. You know what I mean?
You elaborated on the point I exactly wanted to elaborate on. Does Ubisoft need to self-contain? Because essentially, I wouldn't be surprised if almost every hand in that company touched Watch Dogs at some point.
I mean,
I would
yes
think-
and
I
no.
would-
It's great because it speeds up development, but there's no cohesiveness. Like, I feel like there's no cohesiveness in Watch Dogs.
Well, I think they do need to self-contain because some of their best games are the ones that are smaller teams. Like you have the Rayman games. They're awesome games, you know?
Yeah.
Now you have How big is Watch Dogs? I don't have it. I haven't played it.
You mean
Like
big in length or big in map size?
Like, how
Map
much
size,
content is
length,
there?
like,
Is it
how
a
much
long
content
game?
is there? Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I understand, there's the main story itself runs 20 hours, and with the side missions, I mean,
Probably 50,
if
all the
this
side stuff.
if I added up all of my Assassin's Creed playthroughs, and I played every Assassin's Creed from front to back, I think every one of them would clock in at 40 hours. So I'm kind of anticipating Watch Dogs to be pretty much right in there between 38 and 42 hours.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you can have 40 hours long. It doesn't matter if it's not interesting to play.
Oh yeah, I was just
Like, that
wondering
goes back
how.
to the design
like-
assembly thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put so much
Designed
stuff in
by
there.
committee.
Eventually, yeah, designed by a committee. Eventually, you put so much stuff in there, you're gonna have to retread what you know how to do. What they know how to do is you're gonna follow this motherfucker, and he cannot see you. Oh, by the way, guys, you just
Yeah.
and at some point it becomes a battle of, hey, do we have good content or do we have content?
Yeah, that's true.
Other-
You know, the one thing about the game that I will say that probably, and I'm maybe here, but I think the one thing that I do enjoy about it is some of the on foot to car races, or not races, but chase downs, like when someone's trying to get away from you. But it's stemming from like a point of uninspired content to begin with, like the drive across town, try to stop, profile someone with your phone, try to stop a crime before it happens, and then chase the guy a few alleys, tackle him to the ground, and fucking pistol whip him or hit him with your billy club or whatever. But like, it just doesn't. It never gets you. It's like eating a burnt steak. Like it's like you're excited. You're excited for a big juicy cut of steak, and then the waitress brings you out like a burnt cut of steak. Like it's still steak, but there's nothing really to like.
It's like eating old boot.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing really to like grasp onto and say, "Man, I'm excited to eat this steak." It's
I
And then the
steak.
kitchen refuses to
Burnt
take it
steaks.
back and said, "You bought this steak, motherfucker. Now you best eat it."
What burnt steaks are you eating that taste like boots?
It's just I don't like the way they marketed this, and they even said it's going to be a yearly franchise. And like I don't see how the people, the bean counters at Ubisoft, can fail to see what this did to EA and Activision, and like they're
Made them a lot of
charging
money.
Well, yeah, it made them a lot.
Yeah,
of
they
money.
made a lot of money, and that's all they care about.
Exactly,
Oh,
and they're not just
it
sitting
runs-
back too and meditating about how do I get Ubisoft to be the greatest company in the world with the most integrity. They're trying to appeal to shareholders and people that are paying their bills. Like they just sold 4 million copies, and that's the most frustrating aspect to me is that and I'm one of them. I got in line and I got this game for $60, and now I just want to go out and make the next Ubisoft game.
Unfortunately, that
What
is
you're
the
saying
problem
is
with
that-
our industry. Is they're driven by bloody bean counters and that. And it's just,
Unfortunately, that's modern business.
Yeah,
Why
welcome
not?
to entertainment. Everything is
entertainment in
quantified and
general.
everything is in
oh, I hate fucking
All
the
right,
money.
same
guys.
way at Disney.
Let's wrap it up. Does anyone
Happiest place on earth is run by bean counters. That sounds
Oh.
so sad.
Of course it is. They don't have as much say as everything because our creative people get to kick their ass every now and then, but of course it is. We're a business like anything else.
Yeah, and you gotta. I mean, listen. We've had this discussion before, Eureka, Heil, and I. At the end of the day, these places are businesses, and they need to make money. Luckily for us, we can do the research into the product prior to buying it. We're not forced to run out and buy it immediately.
And at this point, you have no one to blame but yourself if you're getting fooled by the Ubisoft game.
I
Just saying.
second that sentiment.
No,
Yeah.
no offense, Heroica, but you should have known. Like at this
No,
point,
listen.
No, you're right. I mean, it's not that I was going to jump into the game thinking to myself, "Oh, this is going to be a whole new brand of Ubisoft gaming." But I did jump into it thinking to myself, like, you know, this is a game that they themselves held out in front of us as kind of, you know, I'm not going to say that they said it word for word. Maybe it is my fault for ingesting it the way that I did, but I kind of looked at Watch Dogs as like, this is going to be a game that kind of broadens the horizons of the genre.
This is the
a little
next
bit.
step. A little
Yeah, and I don't even know if I'm willing to say that much. As much as I'm just saying, like, maybe this is the franchise that I know it's going to feel like slightly like the Ubisoft game. I was ready for that, but I wasn't ready for just how inspiring. It's an uninspiring game.
You weren't ready for Ubisoft Game 2.0.
Yeah, I really
It looks like, or when they first started off, I just thought it was a Grand Theft Auto clone, which I'm guessing it basically is from.
Yeah.
But I know, like Oroko, you were saying like how it's great to make a game where it captures everything in that genre.
Yeah.
But you already have Grand Theft Auto 5 for that.
Sure. Couldn't agree with you more.
That's why I was asking, how big is this game? Like, how much content does it have? How big is it? The world map.
I think it has more content than GTA 5, but the content. I think the content is stacked in such a way.
Yeah.
Because you have like 30 side things to do, but they stack it like 20 times each. So that's why I think it's a little more robust than GTA 5.
But I haven't played anything close to a mission that even comes close to the ambition that GTA 5 went for as far as...
Well, you're not going to out Rockstar.
No.
Yeah. But I mean, it just seems that...
They're not even out Rockstarring Rockstar. They're out Volitioning Volition. Like, they don't even give a shit what Rockstar is doing. Like, Saints Row 3, we're doing crazier. They're trying to outdo themselves.
Champ, somebody said Saints Row 3 and 4 suck today.
I know. What bad people, yo.
I know. Terrible.
Like, what are you, like, allergic to fun?
I beat Saints Row.
Are you, like, you know, against comedy?
Saints Row.
I found 2 the best, even though I could never get that to run on fucking PC because it's a bag of shite poor. But on 360 it was fun.
But 2 was fun.
Yeah, so it just seems that like Watch Dogs is a by the numbers game, like Dark Link and everybody else was saying, made by a huge amount of people, which they should probably scale that down because all their better games are from smaller dev teams than Ubisoft. But basically, what I was going off of my judge of this game is the track in the cars, the radio stations that which
the
are
playlist,
pretty terrible. It seems, yeah.
The only thing good Watch was it got me back into Pinkerton. But yeah, that's what we've been. Last point.
Sorry, one point. Yeah. About the DLC and annualization of games, it seems that because for bigger games in last generation, like Fallout 3, Skyrim, they're Game of the Year editions, you know, with all the DLC content on them. I think now that you have Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed and all these other things that come out with DLC but don't come out with Game of the Year editions, I don't think they do, at least, right?
No, the Ubisoft doesn't.
It just seems that they don't want to put in the time to make a Game of the Year edition for people who don't really like to buy DLC on PSN or Xbox Live, just because they're already working towards the next
They don't care about money.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It's kind of point that Clyde was making that kind of ticks me off as well. Like, I would buy the Game of the Year edition, probably not the first edition first day, but Game of the Year edition I usually like to buy just because it has all the DLC on it. I don't know.
All right, boys. No more last words.
Sorry.
Too much Watch Dogs.
Game sucks.
Game sucks. Don't play. GTA 5 is cheaper and better.
True story.
And Sleeping Dogs is cheaper.
And Sleeping Dogs is cheaper and better. And
Dark
it's not
Lake,
the
you
Ubisoft.
just said we have to move on, and here you are, keeping it going on. Shut up!
I just want to lose your voice when you're yelling.
Shut up!
All right.
Jesus! What do you fuckers say about E3? Let's about motherfucking E3 next week.
I'm psyched for E3, man.
I'm fucking psyched for E3.
You ready for this? You ready for this? I'm gonna make.
What's the Megaton?
The Megaton is this.
Pokemon.
Microsoft does better than Sony.
There we go.
Microsoft does better than Sony at E3.
True. Everything is on Microsoft now, right?
that everybody's eyes are going to be on Microsoft because everything leading up to it, the stuffing they got from Sony this year, like they've got to put their best foot forward because if they don't,
I feel like everybody
game over.
eyes are going to be on everything. So
Yeah, Nintendo has a lot to prove because they have to prove that, hey, this is a system that you should buy and not shit
Nintendo
on.
has a lot to prove. Sony has a lot to prove, and Microsoft has.
Sony
a lot
has
to
a
prove. They all have a lot to
shit.
prove.
Microsoft has been screwing the pooch since about
Yeah, well, yeah,
2010 when they showed and
Um,
they had
dropped the hardcore and went 65% casual.
and that's exactly. Listen, I'm not going to say.
Kyle, is that you?
Kyle's not here. Someone has to say it.
I'm not going to say what they've been doing. Phil Spencer's been behind the wheel, and he's kind of been course correcting the ship. But regardless,
We assume.
the
It's
Xbox
like course
One-
correcting the Titanic after you've hit the iceberg.
but it's still course correction. And if Sony can do it, Microsoft can certainly do it. But
To do with a
Microsoft has the
console
most to
that's-
prove out of all three of them, but I think they
And-
all three of them have to prove stuff.
Yeah.
the point you're about to make, Clyde, is when the console isn't as good as the competition's.
It's not as good. It's not as powerful. Now, power doesn't always mean good quality because we saw
That's
with
very
the PS2, it was actually it came out earlier than the Xbox, yet it had the better games.
Because
And
it had
we-
every game.
Yes, exactly. But it was the fact it had the better games. It had the better exclusives. And that was the thing. Are we going to be in for another PS2-esque domination from Sony? Or is Microsoft going to step up to the plate at E3 and knock it out of the park? Because they need to do that. They need to get there. They need to bring their A game. Because if they don't, they're going to get absolutely spanked by Sony. Because Sony haven't got anything to prove, I don't think, at this one. As long as they show up and don't make an arse of themselves, they'll be fine. Because they're in the lead, the consoles left, right, and centre. As long as they show some games off, they'll be fine. Microsoft have got to do everything.
Wait, somebody posted a good idea. Let's one at a time, like the introductions. Let's go down one company at a time, and then we'll have overall E3 predictions. How's that sound, to everybody?
So maybe you
Sounds
should
good.
let Phil talk since he was on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
All right, so start me off with a category.
Let's start Microsoft first. Games. What do you think they're going to talk about? Blah blah blah.
Okay. If it was me, I think they're probably going to de-emphasize Kinect because them backpedaling on having it in the box, like as a must-buy thing, basically says we don't give a shit about this peripheral. Buy our console, please. So I don't think they're going to champion that as much. I think they show, as far as games go, I think that whole Master Chief Collection that's rumored is real. That comes out this year. I think Halo 5 is next year. I think there's something for Black Tusk Gears Project, probably just a teaser. They probably show whatever Lionhead's working on. They're going to show,
Fable
like,
Legends.
yeah, one of everything from every studio that has something to show. They'll probably have a couple third-party partnerships. They're probably going to push media on us again, television, sports. I mean, I don't know what you do if you're Microsoft at this point. They just don't have the internal studios to shit out games left, right, and center. Sony does. Nintendo does. Microsoft does that.
Ooh,
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Do you think they'll strong arm like they did last generation and just start throwing money at developers for exclusivity? Does that work?
I don't think that works anymore because Sony's system has sold more units. At this point in the game, if you're a third party, you say, okay, you look at Watch Dogs' success, you say, I have 6 platforms I can release on. Realistically, in the next year, I have 6 platforms I can work on. Microsoft cannot throw enough money at you to disregard those platforms. And if they can throw enough money at you to disregard the PS4, like, are you really going to chain yourself to the system that is losing when you could just be like, I can put it on both of them and sell just as much, if not more?
Do
I don't think that's... Go ahead.
Do you think EA's kick themselves with Titanfall because of this?
Titanfall 2 will be on PS4.
Yeah, Titanfall 2 is going to be on everything. I think they are a little bit, but I mean, clearly, like, even considering the platforms it was on, Titanfall didn't do great. It did well. It didn't do great. I mean, I think the last time I checked it, it sold like maybe 1.5 million. Watch Dogs beat it like opening day. Titanfall did not do fantastic. That may be the fact that people aren't into, multiplayer-only games. It may be the fact that it was only on certain consoles.
Right.
And it may be the fact that, you don't track Steam sales and God knows how, or Origin sales, and God knows how well that game is done on Origin. But, I mean, if you're EA, you're looking at that and you're saying, we're not going to do that again. I mean, these guys are getting trounced. Sony can't keep PlayStation 4s on shelves, and you're going to line up with the company they can't sell their console? No.
Clyde, what do you think? In a general overtone, what do you think is going to happen with MS this next week?
Well,
actually,
basically, like I said, Microsoft has to bring its A games. It has to show the public that they care about the console. It's not just TV, and a little bit of games. Yes, the stuff is good. Like the whole TV thing is a big push for the console. It's fair enough. We accept that, but you need to show the public that you have the games. You have the games that people want to play. Now, Will said that why would you tie yourself to a console that is losing, is less powerful and more expensive? But you mentioned exclusivity. Now, just recently, as of today, as in since Dead Rising 3 has surfaced on Steam. Now, Dead Rising 3 was an Xbox One exclusive. And everybody said, I'll give it 6 months and I'll get it on PC. And look what happened. They were right. So this is the thing now, is a lot of people are going to look at and they're going to go, well, why am I going to buy an X1 when it's going to come? There needs to be a line that Microsoft needs to have, because Sony do it. Stuff does not leave their platform at all. It doesn't matter if they share, it ventures onto the Vita, but that's it. With Microsoft, it suddenly disappears and ends up like BioShock was exclusive to games for Windows Live, and that ended up on PS3, and then EA bought the rights that Microsoft sold to Mass Effect, and that ended up on the PS3. So it's a case of Microsoft need to really sit down and think, because you can't. They don't have had in last gen where they were right as Sony. Now, Sony is the dominant player. Sony is the people to beat. Sony money, but they have the power. So it's they're selling wars on expectations, basically.
like gangbusters.
Agreed.
Yeah, gangbusters.
Follow for that. That may be an American thing, but
By the shitload. There are a shitload of PS4s being sold.
It's just constant. It's a hot
yeah,
everyone fucking wants.
Everyone and their mother wants a PS4.
And nobody's. And then the sad thing is, real sidebar, is Microsoft hasn't the Xbox One sold. Where's the number?
Last time they announced it was about 5 million, so they're about 3 million behind.
No, it was 5 million shipped in, but that's the side.
this is the thing, that it's shipped versus sold. It's shipped means it's shipped to retailers. You can have 5 million consoles sold. If 2.5 million of them are sitting in warehouses, doesn't mean anything. But at the end of the day, right, if it comes down to E3, like I said, Microsoft has to bring its A game, because all the is going to be looking at them, and they open the show as well. So it's added pressure. Not only are they presenting the next year out of their entire console, they are also opening E3 a year after launch, right? And this is when people go, all right, the console's been out now. It's now a year since the previous E3. Where are the games? The next selection of games have been all delayed. The Order delayed, and the various other things. What are we going to play this year? Where's all this?
That game is slick as hell too.
My PS4, right? I bought it at launch. It's a £350 paperweight at the moment, because there's nothing out for it. There's nothing there, and I know that's the whole thing of early adopters and shit like that, but there's yet to be on any of the consoles. I couldn't see anything to make me want to buy an X1. Couldn't see anything to make me want to buy a Wii U. I bought a PS4. I don't like Titanfall. He looks shit. It's like Call of Duty with mechs, and if I want to play mechs, play MechWarrior. Don't show a fancy controller at me, because it ain't going to do shit.
Don't do it. I'm saying don't do it, guys. You know what it is? Like I said, it was a good deal.
I told you to wait, fucker.
Well, listen, I had a local computer store. They had the X1 with Connect and a free game for $450. So it was like if they're dropping in price to 400 in without the Connect in June, it's just like this was probably the best deal I would get on one. So I just said, "Fuck it, let me just get the purchase out of the way." And I mean, it's a nifty.
That was my
concept.
mindset too. Like I was just like, I know I'm gonna get the system at one point. I was just gonna get it out of the way.
I'll get one eventually because I want to play Forza Horizon 2 because I like my racing games.
That's coming out on the 360.
I got
And
Forza 5.
that's the biggest thing I found with the PS3 or even. I expected Drive Club to be available at launch.
Oh, you got burned like Eureka.
I
But
got
you can
burned
get-
badly.
But you can get Horizon 2 on 360.
I don't
can
play
you
my
if it's going to be
360.
cross?
Yeah.
The 360 version is being developed by another studio using
Oh, that's
the
true. Yeah.
the Forza Horizon 1 engine, and the one on the X1 is using the Forza 5 engine because it's 1080p 30 frames a second locked as of System Wars that I've been looking at that thread.
I have a feeling that'll drop before release.
I think that will actually stay the same, but they will have to have because this seems to be the thing now. The whole is it 1080p?
Yeah, what's your resolution? What's your frame rate?
Resolution wars now? And I didn't think consolites cared about that. Quite honestly,
Do you
They
guys
probably don't
do you guys
really
all
do
care
that
about do you guys all care about that stuff?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
blanket
No.
statement, like the difference between 1080p and
Yes.
900p.
Yes.
No, I don't give a fucking shit.
I'm not
If
even
it's
sure
a
my
good
TV
game,
can
it's a good
output.
game regardless.
The only place that matters is on my PC. Consoles, I could care fucking less. As long as the game runs fine, I'm happy.
The thing that draws you back to a game 5 years down the line is not going to be the fucking resolution.
Agreed.
No, but it irritates me if it's not 1080p.
All right, shut up, Mister. I can't buy two Titans. Minish drive-by. What do you think is going to happen at this year's E3 with Microsoft? Or actually, let's toss it up. What do you think is going to happen with Nintendo?
Let's finish fucking
Oh,
Microsoft
God.
before we go to Nintendo.
Fuck.
Yeah, Nintendo's a whole
Finish
different
Microsoft.
shit show.
What do you think is going to happen with Microsoft?
Microsoft or Nintendo?
Microsoft.
Microsoft. Don't
Okay,
listen
okay. to
to this motherfucker. Stick with the topic.
Microtendo. What's going to happen with
Microtendo. Well, they're announcing a new console.
Great.
So it's gonna have Kinect capabilities and it's gonna have motion or Wiimotes just coming out of it. It's gonna fire one at you, and just like out of the disc slot. Microsoft plan last year. How many hours or weeks did they talk about how shitty their DRM policies were, but not really talked about it? You know, like they sort of didn't.
And then
There's
they
still a lot
didn't get
of
out
question.
in front of it. And,
Yeah, they didn't say anything about it. So they need like a clear cut plan of what they're gonna like talk about, what they're gonna say, and stick with it. And at least like clear up any misconceptions if they have any of the. I think like what Clyde was saying, the biggest thing is games for this year, especially because there's nothing really to play in 2014. Everything got pushed back in 2015. So I think we'll be seeing like a lot of studios, but I'm sure there will be some non-game bullshit, like probably pushing their TV, Xbox One capability integration thing going on there. They'll probably do that. But other than that, I think they'll show Halo 5 probably with the Halo anniversary thing. Is that what is being rumored right now?
Master Chief
Collection.
Master Chief Collection. That
Remastered 1, 2, 3, and I think that's it. And 4. All 4.
Yeah. I think that would be a good possibility that will show up.
No, they're skipping the good ones. They're skipping ODST and Reach.
Still a shitload of gaming.
It is.
Forza Horizon will be there. The Black Tusk game. They'll probably show the Gears of War. Insomniac is doing the Sunset Overdrive, so that'll be neat to see. It's like the thing I'm with Sunset Overdrive, is that like a online integrated kind of thing like they're doing with most of their next gen titles?
I think they announced it as a single player game only recently.
Did they? Okay.
Does that game look like rainbow colored vomit to anybody else?
No.
It looked pretty cool to me, but
box art does look like rainbow
colored vomit. Yeah.
It looked pretty cool to me, but like the only thing I was worried about, because I'm not a big design guy, you know, I was just the initial reveal, it kind of seemed like they were going for an online experience, kind of like Titanfall in a way, if that makes sense. But that's cool that it's single player then.
Destiny, that reminds me.
It'll have
Destiny.
it's gonna have a single player, and it'll have what is saying is a unique multiplayer.
Unique. Yes. We've heard that word before.
When they say unique,
yeah.
they mean basically what's the word I'm looking for? Persistent online, like
So the
Dark
same
Souls.
as every other fucking game.
Okay.
That's what Watch Dogs does too.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's going to become the norm in a lot of games. It's going to be that seamless
really
integration.
not really excited for that, but
Every game will be an MMO.
When you say seamless integration, right? It's got to a point now where I was looking at buying a Mercedes A-Class. I can
Jesus.
tweet. I can tweet and post on Facebook using the car's internal computer. That's how integrated like social media is now.
That doesn't
The fact
sound
is-
very safe.
Well, no, you can only do it while you're stationary, apparently.
Ah, okay.
That's
But,
smart.
are there voice commands?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's
Yep,
kind of
you could-
unnerving.
That's
But it-
Mercedes being like head and shoulders above everybody. It's like fuck
Oh
you.
no, just no. If you're gonna buy one, don't buy with an auto box because I'll come into roundabout and put my foot down. It took 3 seconds to figure out which gear it wanted to be in. So no, it's shit. Not worth 30 grand.
I'm a shitty American, so I'm gonna be on automatic.
I picture Clyde with driving gloves, like leather driving gloves.
I'm really bad behind the wheel. I get road rage really easily. My friend he called me an angry wasp. That's what it's like. They're bouncing around inside my car because someone cut me up. I went mental. I'm not supposed to do that. It's a fault I recognise, and I got to stop doing it.
Yeah, I have a friend who's really road rage. He
Probably
yelled at-
animal.
No, I don't. I don't have road rage.
Dude.
Yeah, you know what it is? I drive in traffic every day, so there's no road rage to be had. And
Do you not get people cutting in front of you and that? And then taking the front
Eureka drove
bumper
in my car with me. Eureka, was I an angry driver?
To be honest, like I mean, and I'm kind
like
of a
too
little bit
fast.
I'm a little bit of more rural, being up in the great region of New England. I think I would probably shoot myself in the face if I had that commute every day. I don't know how you keep it together.
You can tell that I'm an aggressive driver, but I'm not like an angry driver.
Well, no, but it's such an intense, like, you can see where you want to go in New York City, but, like, it takes you fucking 45 minutes to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that day you said you had, like, a 3-hour commute home?
That was during the snowstorm in January.
Yeah. And
It wasn't a 3-hour commute. It
You
was a
drive
5-hour
into the
commute.
city?
I drive into Long Island City because there are no trains nearby, and it's a pain in the butt.
Oh, okay.
So,
just traffic. I hate traffic. I hate people. There's a guy coming in. He was in a BMW, which is quite ironic, really. He was trying to force his way in front of me, and I wouldn't let him in. He kept going and going and going, and I thought if I had a bit more money in my account, I would have just stayed there and let him scrape all the way down my car, and I would have then had him for hit and run.
yeah, you become numb to it after a while. You're just
I'm like my dad, and he couldn't handle road rage. I get really, really angry behind the wheel. I'm plastered everybody else. You put me behind the wheel, and I turn into a fucking madman.
So speaking of the traffic websites we'll gain off of E3, right?
endless backlog.
topic.
And Champ, what do you?
Dim segues.
I know. I've gotten some decent practice at this. So my question here is, to make Microsoft successful, I want to know, like, what would you define as success?
Well,
Like them selling boxes on a system, or them winning the internet over? Because I feel like all three of those are three different things.
what
I
would
think not
make
being
their-
made to look like a bunch of chumps like they were last year would be a good start.
Yeah. What
Well, okay,
make their
so
ass pounding less?
if we're talking sales, right? Like, they have to finally show, because they took away the one thing that differentiated the two systems.
yes.
Like, they dropped that. I don't think they can do the whole wear the Oroku box thing again, because it's like you just got rid of it. So now you have to, because I don't think a game is necessarily going to pull it off, because the easiest way for a game to sell at E3, like instantly win people over,
is graphics, or it has to show something I've never seen before, right? Like when
Or
you
it
think,
has to con the shit out of you like Watch Dogs.
or it has to con the shit out of you, which I don't necessarily think Microsoft has that, because I feel like when they're reliant in terms of pushing big projects, they rely on Halo and Gears of War for that. Right?
Are they in for another generation of that? Halo, Gears, Forza?
Maybe.
I sincerely hope not.
I get
They
sick.
make
I get
Halo
sick.
and Gears games until you won't buy them anymore.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, because here's the thing: I don't think either of those franchises will die out as far as sales champions at this point. In the modern era, it is really hard to fuck up a brand. You have to Resident Evil 6 that shit, and even then you'll sell 4 billion copies.
Yeah.
I
So
bought
true.
that game, but
They
only
just
with
have to
the
make
5
Halo
minutes
4 3 more times, and then people won't want it anymore. I think
Exactly. But anyway, so as far as them like gaining on Sony and like the snap of a finger, I don't think that's happening at all. I think that ship is sailing quickly.
I think that ship
I
has
think they
already
can
left
get themselves competitive. They, however, are not going to make a quick turnaround like that. To
I
win
think
the
they're gonna
internet
catch
over, it's simple. Announce some games, and Ben on
Some
my
games that-
podcast. Pardon?
Some games that are gonna stay on itself. Not
Exactly,
Gonna be
so-
because last year it wasn't even big like AAA games that were interesting to me last year that they showed. Because I mean there were a couple games that I was interested in, like Below from Capybara.
Mm-hmm.
But now that's on PC, so I don't really need an Xbox One anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
now that PCs are cheap, like the Steam box, you can buy shit like that for
Yeah.
like 500 quid.
and
same
the
price
fact
as
that
Connect.
there are iPads and iPhones that
Definitely, yeah.
play a lot of these type of games, and specifically, I guarantee you, Below will end up on something because that's the same team that made Super Brothers, and that game, if anything, plays better on an iPad than it does on your PC, just because of the way the
Definitely.
controls are for that game.
Or like Fez? Like
Or
Fez.
well, we're talking about animal. Anyway,
And developers who aren't cunts.
yeah, that too. But like,
Fuck you, Phil Fish.
But so like Ben brought this up on my podcast, which you can check out at endlessbacklog.com or subscribe on iTunes. Anyway,
Shameless plug.
yeah,
That product placement.
Anyway, the point is like he's saying like when you think of Sony, you think of a roster of franchises and studios that are varied. Like they have a racing game, they have a shooter, they have a third-person action adventure, they have a hack and slash. When you think of Microsoft, it's so hard not to think of them as Halo, Gears, Forza, right? Like
Occasionally Fable if you want to get some shit.
if you hate yourself, you mentioned Fable, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like at this point, you need to start showing things that are not only new IPs or new ideas, but they also need to be. It can't be a racing game. Like your next new IP cannot be like I have Forza. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need another FPS. You have a granddaddy in franchises in terms of Halo. You know what I'm
you
saying?
don't need another third-person shooter. Make
Yeah.
something else.
That's not to say that they maybe invest in a new FPS or a TPS, because I'm sure someone will be into something new that isn't Halo but a first-person shooter. But show, hey, we have this action adventure working. We have our own fighting game working, which I guess they kind of did. We have
Killer
a
Instincts,
platform.
yeah.
We're showing some variety, and the other thing is like Sony's built up these studios, right? Dog and Sucker Punch, like these have been built up in house over the last 3 generations. If you're naming Microsoft Studios, they read from top to bottom in terms of talent to least effective. It reads something like Turn 10, who's probably the most accomplished of their studios in terms of their genre, right? Like, would anyone disagree with that right now?
No.
Okay. So then you have 343, which isn't really a developer; it's a tribute band to Bungie.
Mhm.
Like, with all due respect, they are the Treyarch to Bungie's.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Blast, who teased this new IP last year,
Who are
teased it, didn't
Black
even have to name it.
Brand
But you
new
can't work
studio.
on that because of Gears of War.
Yeah, now they're making Gears of War, so you essentially turn them into the tribute band to Epic. So 2 studios are knockoffs of better and more accomplished studios. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, it's not like Cliffy B's working at Black Tusk, so you have no
It's
reason
not.
to be.
I don't say they're like tribute bands. They're just literally they take the game that like they're the sort of the suckers who get given the game to be made by Microsoft.
Essentially,
Well,
yeah.
no,
It's like,
343
here
is
they
a
go.
tribute band. They want to make Halo.
Yeah,
They are a tribute band.
Black Tusk, I feel like, got the raw end of the deal because they were, for all accounts, sounds like they were working on something new. Now,
And-
it's purely conjecture to assume that game would have been good because for all we know, it could have been, yo, the game you're making kind of sucks. We're going to give you a different project, right?
Yeah.
All right.
We don't know that story.
All right, guys. I don't want to say, but let's move on to Eroika's champ. Any final thought?
They need to build a roster of studios. Like it's time. Your first party needs to grow.
They really do. They just need to bite the bullet and invest. And I hate doing that, but
Nintendo on their worst days can always fall back to Mario, Zelda, Smash Brothers, Metroid. Sony on bad days can go to Naughty Dog and say, "Hey, go win some Game of the Year awards." Microsoft doesn't have that.
Yeah,
So right now,
Stop closing studios as well.
Let's move on. Eroika, what are your thoughts on all this?
I'm not gonna take too much time because I think you guys have pretty much covered just about everything and all the apprehensions I think that I have, and you guys know me as a long time documented supporter of Microsoft. I mean, it's always going to come down to games, and my biggest apprehension on going out and buying an X1 is the idea of what just happened today with Dead Rising. Like I don't have confidence that the games that Microsoft touts in front of us as exclusives are going to stay exclusive. So for me, in order for me to jump in, I need to see games that are unique to that platform, that are going to stay on that platform, and are going to warrant my hard-earned money. Outside of that, I mean, you guys kind of touched on it. I'd like to see variety. I don't want to constantly be thinking that the only thing Microsoft is going to shove in my face is Forza, Gears, and Halo. I have no hype at all. I have about as much hype for the next Gears of War as I do for the next God of War. What did I read? That they're moving Kratos to like the Greek mythos now.
Egypt.
Egypt. That's right. He was Greek. Egypt.
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, see, to me, there's nothing that could be more boring to me than that. That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. As far as I want to see Kratos get his face ripped off, and that's the end of him.
Games staying on the consoles. Do you think Sunset Overdrive will stay exclusive to the Xbox One?
Yes.
No.
Well,
It's too tough to say. Too tough to say because whatever Sony worked out with them on, I mean, what those franchises.
Wait, time out. Exclusive to Xbox One, as in it's
exclusive. Period. Will it
No.
stay?
It could end up on PC.
Possibly.
It is a Microsoft published game. Like
It'll probably end up.
But the thing is, if you look at the historically list of Microsoft published games like Mass Effect, what other Alan Wake, and a
studio
couple.
bought by EA. Well, I'm saying, like, if you're saying it's going to end up on PC, yes, that can happen.
Yeah,
If you're saying, is it going to end up on PlayStation? Not necessarily.
No, most of the third-party games that break free from Microsoft, they have a tendency to be whoever they're owned by published. There was a list I compiled today, and the games that ended up on PC were all by the studio. So
Yeah, but
see
again,
what-
Microsoft Game Studios published Ninja Gaiden and they published Mass Effect. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, Darklink.
I know.
Thank you for reiterating that.
but I think
I'm sorry,
that's
you were
what-
taking too damn long.
as far as my closing on it, though, I think that's for me, anyways, where Microsoft will earn some of my trust back. I think in the big picture, it comes down to games. I mean, they can show all the TV shows and connectivity and cloud and graphics and everything else they want to show, but it's going to come down to what are you going to give me over the next calendar year that separates you from what Sony's going to give me or what Nintendo's going to give me or what I can find on the PC. And as far as the internet's concerned, I don't know that one E3 is going to win the good graces of the internet folk back, but I think it's going to take more than one showing at E3 to get them back where they were, say, early in Gen 7. But I don't know. I do think that they have. I mean, I loved a little. I don't know how long ago, maybe a month ago, there was the talk of like revitalizing the Battletoads franchise, which I thought was kind of cool.
Oh, that's a rumor.
That's what I'm saying, though. I mean, I'd love to see them dig deep on an old franchise they can get their mitts on and revitalize it. I mean, I know Rare is pretty much all but dead, but
It'd be cool for a Conker game.
Yeah,
but
I mean, there you go.
look
There's
what they
another
did
one.
with Killer Instinct, which is an excellent game, and it's
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
But that was Double Helix.
But Microsoft has the internal team that runs it. I mean, it was their idea. It's their IP.
Right.
Where
That's
they get
true.
the studio to develop it from is irrelevant.
So
Yeah.
I'd love to say, I mean, Battletoads is a endearing game. Well, it's also one of the most frustrating games I've ever played in my
Endearing.
life. But
You're
no, I mean,
speaking
it's one of those great games from my past. I'd love to see that game get
Speaking
rebooted.
of hidden IPs that Microsoft have. They got a whole catalogue
Sure.
of IPs. They've recently just bought the rights to Rise of Nations. And it's like, well, what are they doing with it? Are they actually going to go back to the PC? Like, MechWarrior 5 was supposed to come out, and then that didn't materialise, which is really fucking annoying.
How about a fucking baseball game? I'd take a
What?
goddamn baseball game at this
They
point.
can't, though.
They
And
can't.
Sony has the exclusive license for the show.
Yeah.
Sucks to be you.
Whoa. They have the right to
So
make
2K has the license for MLB,
right.
something weird like that as far as
It's-
third parties. But first party studios are allowed to do
Exactly.
a baseball game.
That's correct. So and Microsoft bought and I want to say the last game that came out was 04 or 03 was had Kurt Schilling on the cover in the Arizona Diamondbacks jersey. It was High Heat Baseball. Microsoft owns that IP. I mean, they could reboot that franchise if they wanted and get the license because if they did it in-house first party, they would be fine. They just can't. There's not 2K is the only one that can do the third party on MLB.
It's one of the weirdest contracts I've ever heard.
Right.
All
Yeah,
right,
it's really strange.
Let's move on to Sony. Clyde, how you feeling about Sony this year?
Same as last time, really. They literally have just to come out and show that there is some life element lines, because everybody is, a lot of people like me have bought PS4 with the anticipation that Sony are going to start churning out those AAA Game of the Year exclusives as they do, but they have yet to be forthcoming, and a lot of stuff was delayed. Like there's Watch Dogs was delayed. Yes, that was a multi-plat, but still, the fact it was supposed to be played at 1080p at 60 frames per second only on a PlayStation 4. So yeah, we'll let that go. And there's just Drive Club and everything else that comes out for it. It's like they need not to slip up. If they slip up, they're in a lot of trouble, because Microsoft isn't as much as the system wars and the internet likes to drive Microsoft into the ground. They aren't behind them when you think about it. With average Joe, they're not that far behind. So if they slip up and Microsoft hits a winner, then it could turn out to be a bit different. But it is a case of just show some games, less indie, please, more AAA, and then we should be fine. Oh,
Right.
and more stuff for the Vita as well, because you just killed off the PSP after
Yeah.
that slowly festering in the corner for a while before
Well, the
they finally took it out and shot it.
The PSP was still moving units pretty well in Japan. What was it, like 20,000 a week or something?
I think
PSP's still
that's-
really popular over there.
Yeah, I mean 20,000 a week is like 20,000 a week.
It was
I saw a
outselling the Vita,
PSP
wasn't
Go in the local exchange. You remember those PSP Go's?
Oh god.
yeah. That
I
was
saw two of them in the local exchange that I got here, CAX, and I said to my mate, "It's like, there's a PSP Go in the wild."
what the fuck was that even for? That
I had
PSP
no
Go?
idea. It
And
was
The
like,
same people who thought $600 was good to drop for a
That-
PS. That's
Yeah.
Champ, how you feeling about Sony?
I mean,
Great,
honestly,
great to hear from you, Champ.
no, I'm here. Honestly, it's like I don't like all they have to do. Like they have all the momentum, right? So at this point, it's like just announce what you're doing and call it a day. I mean, they're pretty much making victory laps. Like they shouldn't get complacent to show, as Clyde mentions, like games for the fall, because at this point it's like, hey, where are my games? But like I'm gonna assume they're also gonna look at their third party stuff and be like, all right, hey, what is the third party doing? What are your release windows? So they'll have a vague idea of where that stuff is. And I guess they're banking on Uncharted for the fall. And then like the third party and the indie stuff carry over like the library for the year, because you know what I mean? Like I don't think they need to rush things. They don't need to force their studios to do anything stupid. Because when you're a top dog, you know, it's not necessarily you want to be conservative, but
you dictate
like-
the rule.
yeah, there's no reason for them to like now suddenly change course, because the current course is piling on paper stacks.
So you think Uncharted 4 is going to come out this fall?
I mean, you have to assume something is coming this fall, Like, I don't think a game like The Order gets pushed if they
Unless
weren't
something big's
confident
gonna
in
happen.
something else plugging that hole for the fall, right? Like, usually when
Yeah, I
someone
understand.
if something gets pushed back, that company is usually relying on something else to come out that year.
Yeah, it's because they
So-
don't want to cannibalize something else. More likely.
Exactly. So I feel like they figured Order might stand a better chance in February. Plus, it needs the dev time. And then, hey, Naughty Dog might as well be like a done deal as far as selling games is concerned at this point. Like,
You can slap a Naughty Dog sticker on anything and it'll sell.
yeah. So they're set, and we're assuming that that's all they have. Like, Drive Club is most likely a game this year, right?
Yeah.
Like that'll probably.
Comes out in October.
And then, like, for my own personal taste, I would like to see new IPs. Like, this is pretty much my answer to everybody. But like, when it comes to Sony, we talked about this again on my podcast. Not to shamelessly plug it again, but it was like, when you think of Sony in the last 3 generations, like Microsoft has Halo, and then like Nintendo has Mario. Like, they have their franchises. But when I think of Sony, like, I don't think. Besides Gran Turismo, I've never looked at any of their franchises and thought, yeah, that's the big headliner franchise that I want to go buy, right? Like, when I think of this most successful PlayStation systems, they won me over in sheer quantity. But it was never like this one headline game that got me.
Well, you got Project Beasts or Project Beast that's most
but
likely a Demon Souls.
Yeah, that may be a headliner to me and you, but let's
not
be real,
to
Demon Souls.
Joe, the average Joe doesn't care.
I can't stand Demon Souls. I think it's
Yeah, but you know what I was gonna say about Project Beast is that I feel like Project
You're
Beast.
so gonna buy it.
Well, I'm gonna buy it, but I think that Project Beast is gonna be the game that wins them the internet because it's just fucking cool to like the Souls games. I think that like, what does Microsoft have that's gonna answer to Project Beast?
Yeah, that's basically it.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Though?
Like, they won the internet.
There's
so
that rumor
long as-
about the. Oh, sorry. There's that rumor about Platinum Games possibly having an exclusive for Microsoft.
And that'll win over NeoGaf because no one splooges over a Platinum game quite like NeoGaf does.
Yeah.
It's really impressive when they go ham.
No, yeah. And then, like, Destiny's going to have a big show. Like, that, in a weird way, has been a de facto exclusive.
Yeah, it has.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like,
I was about to say Destiny is more for the PS4 than for the.
yeah. It's
One.
kind of like Call of Duty, right? Like, we knew it was on PlayStation 3, but, like, as far as everyone else was concerned, yeah, but it's an Xbox Live game. Like, you play it on Xbox Live. Your friend Destiny is slowly becoming like it's a PS4 game, and there just happens to be other versions.
But you can also buy it on the Xbox One. Why would you want to? But you can.
Yeah, basically they're entering that territory. So, like, it's going to be a system deprived of games as well. I think it's going to do fine in that regard. But, like, as far as, like, a step forward, it's time they start showing some newer ideas.
Dark Link, what about you?
I think what everybody else is saying, like, if you're Sony, you're coming into this coasting. You are winning. All you have to do is show up, show us what your internal studios are working on. Hey, an update on The Last Guardian would be nice. Just tell us that it fucking exists. Show us a trailer. You don't have to give us a release.
So Blab can hang on to his pre-order?
Yeah, so Blab can hang on to his pre-order. I mean, show us trailers. Show us what your third-party partners are working on. Trot Square Enix out on stage and say, hey, look, you want to see some FF15? Boom. Trot EA out. Trot those Japan out that say it is not worth us for developing on the Xbox One. Show what they're working on. Trot out your partners at From Software and say, hey, Demon Souls? Guess what? It's either a sequel or a spiritual fucking successor. Get hype. Lose yourselves. All they have to do is use their third-party partners, which they have. Use your studios, which you have. Don't say anything incredibly stupid, and just show up. You win by default.
Who do you think is going to lead the Sony show this year, now that Trenton is gone?
I really want to see that, like, it's going to be Kaz, but I don't think it is.
No,
Like, I'd really love to have him do it. It'll probably be some suit from their marketing department.
Well, no.
I don't like
Adam
Boyce
Boyce. You
again.
think it could be Adam Boyce?
No, it's going to be Carney. Yeah.
Oh, God, Cerny's so boring. He's so boring.
Mark Cerny, is that his name?
Yeah.
Is that the British guy with the beard?
No.
No, he's the guy that they said was like the architect of the PS4 or whatever.
He's like,
the guy-
remember
Really
the guy
creepy
that
one,
everyone
like,
was like, oh, he's a genius. He worked
Yeah.
on Knack and all these other games. We never made anything good in a decade. But he's a genius, and you just don't understand, and Knack's going to be wonderful. He's that guy.
Yeah,
Oh, and that
but you
was shit,
also, but Darklink, you also didn't create the PS4, and fucking Crash Bandicoot, one of the best.
Yeah, but Crash
PlayStation.
Bandicoot.
Yeah, but he had
sucked,
nothing.
A decade ago.
I'm just saying, genius doesn't stop being genius, though.
Yes, it
Okay,
does.
but if we're gonna trot out
Wah,
people
wah,
that start
wah.
being
Peter
relevant,
Molyneux is a great example of this. Are you telling me Peter Molyneux is still a genius?
Yes.
Because he's way more decorated than Marx at this point.
like
Yeah,
if you're
what
gonna trot
about
out people who
John
were
Carmack?
geniuses, why don't you trot out
John Carmack is still brilliant.
John
Yeah, they're
Carmack
all
is
still
the best
brilliant
in the
people.
With rockets than
programmer
video
in the
games.
industry.
You can still be a genius and not have your finger on the pulse, I guess, is the best
Bingo.
way to say it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
when is
I mean,
the Sony live show anyway? When is the
2
One night, I
a.m. GMT. So I don't know what time yours is.
So that'd
I
be
think it's
about
this
8,
evening.
7 p.m., 8 p.m. here.
I think.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
cool.
like 6
cool.
or 7 Eastern time.
Alright,
Do you guys
awesome.
watch E3 at 2 in the morning?
Well, it's not my fault you guys have fucking weird time zones, is it?
You guys.
Yeah, but I think if you're
We
Sony, you
invented
just-
time. You went and meddled with it.
We invented
listen.
time.
It's not my fault that industry revolves around. Oh, I can't even say this because they revolve around California hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Minish,
Still,
what about you?
America? Yeah.
What do you think Sony's going to do? And I will
Oh,
be right
sorry.
back.
I don't know. I'm excited to see if they do a God of War with an Egyptian theme. I know Aroka hates the idea, but I think it's a pretty cool idea. Even if Kratos is still the main character, I just don't want him to be like basically a pussy like he was in the last 2 games.
God,
I
do you
rather
want that
just-
asshole running around in Egypt destroying the pyramids?
I just think maybe.
Oh, that'd be so cool. I don't know.
I just think maybe a talented studio like that, one of those world-class, barn-burning, trailblazing,
Oh, there it is.
award-winning,
Fucking
hashtag
Studios.
legendary studios. I would like to see them do something else other than boring
Yeah.
ass.
They
Well,
got, I mean, they've turned into like a support studio. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna do a God of War 4, I would that to be God of War 4. Just change it to a new setting, even if you have to keep Kratos because he is kind of like a marketing image now. But just make him not give a shit. More so than the past 2 games where he's kind of cried in the corner every once in a while. Just like make him a God of War,
None of
I'm
this
not really.
are dead shit. Like a
What's
lame
that? Yeah.
My family is dead. Like, don't be the lame
Yeah.
version of Batman. Nobody likes that guy.
Yeah, be like the beginning of God of War 2, where he's just like fucking up shit and leading an army into roads. But let's see. I'm not really too excited about the what is it? Ready at Dawn's game.
The Order.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
1080p. No, it's not.
I don't really care about it.
I think that game
Me-
looks slick.
It
does
looks
look sick.
nice.
So many arguments about that. Oh, it's 1080p. No, it's not.
Yeah, it just
How about we wait
doesn't
till
really
the
appeal to me.
releases?
God
What
of
do you think,
War. I'm really excited to see if Final Fantasy 15 or Kingdom Hearts 3 gets a showing at all. Hopefully, Last Guardian gets something too. I know that's on
Right?
everybody. Yeah, right. That's on
Yeah.
everybody's list every year. So I don't know.
Keep blabbing
Um,
on so alive.
Yeah, those are the main 3 that I'm excited to see, and then God of War tacked onto that if they do something cool with it. If not, then it's just another God of War game. The past 2 have been not that great, but so Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 15, and Last Guardian. I just want something on him. That's it. And I know the last 2, Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 are multi-plats now too. So I think they'll have a bigger presence at Sony's conference than the Microsoft conference. But that's all I'm really excited for them.
Yeah, I think Sony, for me anyway, Sony is pretty much what you guys just said, and so I'll keep it short. I think that it's going to be something that they kick the door in. They're going to drop some really great games, Project Beast. They're going to show some good stuff, and then I don't think they need to do anything overly spectacular. I mean, I don't see them making any adjustments to PSN Plus. In fact, I think didn't Microsoft just pretty much mirror it with their gaming with gold now? I don't know, but anyways, I feel like Sony is pretty much locked and loaded to just keep going. I mean, I'd like to see some new IP. I come from the camp that says, War is tired to me, just like Gears of War is. So I'd rather see.
Yeah.
I'd rather see new IP at this point. I know what Gears of War is. I know what God of War is. I know what those games are going for. I'd rather see that talent be utilized somewhere else.
No, definitely, I agree with you, Aroka. I'm just saying, like, they're gonna show a God of War 4. They're gonna show an Uncharted 4 there. They're gonna show these giant franchises that they've made. So at least show something cool with it.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So let's skip over then. Did everyone get a chance to say everything that they wanted to say on Sony? So I know we're approaching 2 hours here for this cast, but is anybody have any feelings on Nintendo? Champ, what do you think about Nintendo?
But two things. One, Bayonetta 2 release date or bust. And number two, if they announce anything anything Earthbound that feels like either a sequel or I get my English port of Mother 3DS, everything is forgiven. For at least one goddamn year, I guarantee you on System Wars or my own podcast, I will not end up being creatively deprived. The fact that they can't sell a console, the fact that 3 out of the 4 generations, they have definitely been the worst console on the market, if not the second worst. Whatever. All of that shit. Just those two things, and we are square, Nintendo. Other than that, like,
endless backlogs, goodwill, show Mother. That's all you need.
Just Mother and Bayonetta 2 release date. Fuck Willie. Ignore Willie, who does not like good games. If we're being honest, it's like, I asked this question. First of all, when do you start acknowledging facts? And the facts speak for themselves. The N64 got its ass kicked by the PlayStation. The GameCube got its ass kicked by the PlayStation 2. The Wii U is getting its ass kicked
by everything.
The Wii is the statistical anomaly at this point, which was like a fluke. But like even then, like all 4 of those systems also have the same problem. They have large droughts because they don't have big libraries like their competitors do, right? So at what point do we acknowledge the simple fact for what it is that while Nintendo is a fantastic game developer, like when they're on their A game, very few studios are in their ballpark, right? Like let's get all those chattering shit out of the way. When the fuck do we acknowledge that they're a shit console manufacturer? Like you are outclassed by your competition. Last I checked, when you're outclassed by your competition, you suck.
How far back, champ? SNES, was that the last time?
N64 forward. They've been outclassed since the N64. We forgive the N64 for these legendary games like Ocarina of Time and GoldenEye, but the facts were still the same back then. They were outclassed.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to do your job of segueing and implied any flattering to say about Nintendo.
I don't even have any anger for Nintendo. I don't know. There's not a lot that appeals to me anymore in the world of Nintendo, and like, I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to cut your losses somewhere, but I don't really know what to say about Nintendo. I'd love to see.
But the overlying point is like, why are they still making consoles if they're outclassed by their competition? And their console is a secondary console. Yeah. I don't think you can realistically say I'm cool. I think you can say that with the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the PC.
Sure.
You know I think that Nintendo, like you say, they have to set up and say that, take notice of me now, because I'm actually going to bring out. So, guys, the whole thing about Bayonetta is going to be like a system seller and stuff like that.
That's not going to happen. That game's going to sell 5 copies.
It is, and they're going to.
And we're going to be half of them in this podcast.
The developers are going to bitch and moan about how nobody bought their game. Well, if you put it on 360 or you've put it on the Xbox One and the PS4, as you should have done, it would have sold.
In this case, they couldn't. Like Sega didn't want to fund it. Nintendo's the only one that was willing to fund it. So
Bayonetta 2 exists because of Nintendo.
Yeah, no, that's really going to be a shame because it looks really good. But I'm not buying a Wii U just to play one game.
Yeah, agreed.
But I can see like an X1 for me. It's like because some of the games that are coming out don't interest me, but with Nintendo, nothing interests me at all apart from Bayonetta. And I'm not paying £150 for a console that I'm going to play one game on. If I was that desperate for it, I'll wait for the emulation to come out.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they for me and the Wii U. It's always been about get the price of the goddamn console down where it belongs. Get it down to 150 or $200, and maybe I'll start thinking about it. But I don't know, man. There's nothing that the Wii U is putting out that. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll do like another, Mario Galaxy, and it'll be worth a buy, or I don't know, but. Maybe the new Zelda game will be good. Maybe Nintendo will show a ton of new Zelda. I mean, would that get you guys hyped?
I'm already pretty hyped for them.
But like,
What did Mario? Because that was supposed to be like a big push. Because that jumped sales like 606%.
I mean, it broke 1 million opening weekend. It's doing very well for itself.
Right. Eroica,
what's
back
the
to your
quality of the
point.
game?
Eroica, back to your point on that Zelda thing. Like, who the hell more could like? If you're not into Zelda as it is. Like, why are you buying the Wii U? You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, what the Wii was successful because it had something other than the Nintendo. Like, it had Wii Sports. It got an entire audience.
Appeal.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because if all you are is the Nintendo system, we know what your peak is.
Right.
N64 or the GameCube. That is your peak.
Yep.
But what, like you mentioned that the Wii had something other than, like, you had Wii Sports and that. But the Wii U... It's like, are they banking on the Nintendo diehards to buy it? Because if you're not interested in Zelda, right? You've never been interested in Zelda, so you've never bought a Nintendo console. What makes you want to? You have to look at those people, and you think, what can we do to entice them to buy our console? And if you're going to just trot out Zelda, it's the same thing with Microsoft and their Halo, Forza, and Gears. But Halo and Forza and Gears are more accessible to the average Joe than Zelda is.
Yeah. The problem with Nintendo is they made this massive push with the Wii U for this third-party machine like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox 3. I'm sorry, the PS3 and Xbox 360. I mean, all these games were supposed to come. I mean, Metro Last Light, Alien Colonial Marines, even though that ended up sucking, it was still supposed to come. And a bunch of other really pretty big tier third-party games. And the support all just, it's just fucking
dried up.
Completely, exactly. Well has dried up.
Remember when was that Rayman was supposed to be an exclusive, and Ubisoft sort of like backtracked, looking quite sheepish, and then just slowly.
They probably saw the
Wii
U sales. Wii U didn't sell gangbusters like Nintendo probably thought. They banked on the next big gimmick because in the time that the Wii came out, think about it, when the Wii came out, an iPad didn't exist. How bizarre is that? And Nintendo
An iPhone. That was before the iPhone.
Yeah. Smartphones as we know them did not exist.
Yeah, and Nintendo saw the trend in technology, and they thought that's what people would like. But to their dismay, we have them everywhere now. It's like, why do I need a fucking dedicated machine with a tablet for a controller? Granted, I think the system is a really neat idea.
But a neat idea is not going to make me want to buy it.
It's screwed up by Nintendo's terrible execution of it. That's the problem.
They're sort of ham-fisted, isn't it? That's the other thing. It's Nintendo. They seem very behind. They're very behind on the way that stuff is done. If you look at Sony and Microsoft, they're very forefront with games and their online stuff, and Nintendo is very almost a dinosaur now. It's like people they looked for Nintendo for their online system, and then they came out with that really awkward friend code shit, and people thought, you know what, fuck this, because gamers are fickle, right? And whether you agree with me or not, they are. That they will quickly drop something if they can't get what they want out of it, and they dropped Nintendo. They just literally just chucked Nintendo out of a speeding car, and Nintendo they have. I think if they fail to make another console, that'll be it. Hardware for them, they will be third party. They will not have. They don't have the buying power that they used to. The selling power even.
But they still have a massive war chest to do it for another
generation.
They decade and be okay.
Yeah, they can exactly.
But then,
at what point
that decade goes really quickly.
Yeah, at what point do the investors go, Why are we making boxes? You know what I mean? Like when
Wasting
their handheld business is so good, half the time you're wondering why are they even bothering with the Wii U?
Well,
Like,
that makes
you know what
me
I'm saying?
think-
Like, why is Smash Brothers even being? I know this is sacrilegious coming from a guy who does not like handhelds. Do they really need to invest in Smash Brothers on Wii U when it's going to sell buckets on the 3DS for them?
But you mentioned that
How many
the
3DSs are out there?
millions.
A buttload more than the Wii U.
Like,
Well, I mean-
if you look right, somebody said that. I don't know, it was on one of these podcasts that just reiterate here. When the Wii came out, the original DS was playing second fiddle to it, and then that was where it was going to be, and then all of a sudden, the DS just took off in popularity. They couldn't keep up with demand. Everybody wanted one, and now the Wii U plays second fiddle to a handheld. So it's like, why are you like I said, why are you focusing on the Wii U, which is not selling, when your handheld business is running riot over the competition? It's like Apple. It's like that sort of a situation where they've completely shut everybody else out of the market now.
The best Nintendo game made last year was a 3DS game.
Yeah, it was.
So
The most progressive Nintendo franchise game in the last 2 or 3 years was a handheld game.
Is this Nintendo's last rodeo with the console, or do they do one more and see where the future takes
No, I don't think it'll be their last rodeo. It might not even be their second to last console, for all we know.
I think scenario, Iwata gets fired. Fuck it. We're going to do a normal console like everybody else, and we see if they have a market for it. This is not the end of Nintendo's console business.
On the notion, the fact that Wii U was their first console, and it's taken them this long. Why is that? Why are they so behind the other two? Is it the fact is they rely solely on their three, like Zelda, Mario,
and Mario.
Yeah, and Mario. It's like, why do they do that? It's frustrating for me as a gamer because, like, I like playing games. I don't really like. At the end of the day, fanboyism and like shitty thing on the internet aside, if a game is good, I'll play it. And I've played a few games. I played Mad World on my friend's Wii U, and I had a good time for it once you get past how the controls work. But it's like, what is there that wants an average gamer? I'm not a Nintendo fan. I grew up. I had a Game Boy, and I didn't buy any games for it. I got Star Wars, and that was it. I never really had the whole Nintendo upbringing. So what in their camp is going to make me go into the store and buy a Wii U and buy a Nintendo console? Because I don't see that. And there are lots of people like me that they need to get hold of that audience, but they just don't. And it's really frustrating. It's like the whole, please understand. It's like, well, you don't fucking understand. You're not doing anything about it.
No, they're really not, and it was so bizarre because I bought a Wii U day one, and I sold one to a guy with a Pro controller and Zombie U. I bought it when it was, I guess, $350. For the package, I probably spent like $450, $480. I sold the thing to the guy for like $700-800. It was so bizarre how everyone wanted one. And it was just like 6 months later, just like it fucking plummeted. Like there was like, that's when it was like, hey, sales aren't doing too hot. It's only at like 4.2, or it's like not even. It's like at like 2.6 million worldwide. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever watched, because you at least see consoles sustain time. I mean, the PS2 was a freak by nature, and the Xbox One was just up against a juggernaut. But like I feel like consoles nowadays, they just sustain. If anything, the Wii U just went. It was the most bizarre thing I ever watched. And they haven't.
I'm excited for the console or the E3. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just me personally.
Here's the crazy part, though. Like, we're saying all this mean shit, and I'll be the first to tell you, there's a handful of games on that system that are definitely like.
Yeah,
Wonderful 101 is a game that's not like anything else in the genre.
Super Mario
Donkey Kong is good. The new Mario Kart is gorgeous. Like, I don't care what the tech is.
Ugh.
I don't care that it's 720p. That is a gorgeous looking game for a cartoony kart racer. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, but then, like, And then, like, even when they're doing a good game, it's like they have Virtual Console, right? Like, and you could go play Mega Man X and Super Metroid and all these fantastic classics. But then you remember that ActRaiser is on the Wii, but not on the Wii U or the 3DS. And then you remember that the 3DS doesn't have access to Game Boy Advance Virtual Console games like Metroid Fusion. It's like, how the hell did Sony put 2 and 2 together that you should probably have this Virtual Console type deal that's unified across your platforms? And then you said, no, they don't need to be unified. Like, why would anyone want that?
Quite backwards compared to the competition.
Yeah, it's like
it's always been with that way.
Clyde used the word. It's like they're frustrating more than they are like infuriating. It's just like you have so many things at your like when you think of the sheer library of franchises, Nintendo's got to be in like a top 5, right? Like somewhere.
There's nobody even close. Realistically, like one single publisher.
Yeah,
maybe just Square.
The roster of franchises they could unleash on someone, and then the sheer talent they have to create new ideas, right?
But they just sit there, sort of pootling along. It's like that. It's really frustrating when you see like they're driving a Lamborghini and they're doing 40 miles an hour in it, and it just infuriates me that they got all this talent, like you say, all the IPs that they could just, like, as you mentioned in using your words, to unleash on the industry, and it's just sat in a vault somewhere. It's just their leadership is just like a clusterfuck of retards.
That's what it is. That's what you. It's a cluster. Did you say it's a clusterfuck of retards?
Yeah, it's a clusterfuck of retards. Because they just don't. It's just. It's all suits at this point. At the end of the day, they don't understand what gamers want, and they just see sales figures. Let's go back to the whole how like commercialized our fucking industry is.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head though. It's leadership. It's leadership. Nintendo has got the tools to make much more of a splash than what they are making, and it's leadership. A lot has got to go.
You think it's
Yeah. Darkling, you said you're excited for the E3 presentation, right?
Yeah, I am. You
want to?
Yeah, I mean, I think
that?
we've. First, I mean, to sum up what we've been saying, I think we hit the nail on the head. Nintendo probably has the best individual software library of any publisher in existence, shackled to the worst console anybody has on the market. Which sucks. I mean, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
But as far as their presentation goes, like, maybe this is just me. A really good chance to do something pretty awesome at this presentation.
See, that's what I think. I think that too. Like, I'm more optimistic about them than anyone else. I was just.
When you look at what they can show at this present, sorry, I don't want to interrupt anybody.
No.
When you look at what they can show at this presentation, you've got X, you've got the next gen Zelda, you've got any number of things on the 3DS, you've got Bayonetta, you've got whatever else the rest of theirs. And you've got whatever Intelligent Systems is working on. You've got Smash Brothers. You've got that leaked list, a lot of which is pretty impressive stuff. And then if you go back, what's Retro working on right now? Maybe they're working on Metroid. What about a Star Fox game? If you go back into the, like, in theory, the number of IPs they could revive at any given point with the sheer mass of studios that they have at their disposal, at any given time, they could unleash something really cool. So I want to be optimistic for this
it's
E3.
So sad. Nintendo...
I think to see some good stuff. I mean, at the very least, you've got X, Smash Brothers, fucking Bayonetta, and Zelda.
They have the new Pokemon game too. I mean, I know Pokemon's annualized now too, but Pokemon Ruby was my favorite one in the game franchise. So I mean,
isn't that what we're just criticizing Microsoft for though? Is bringing out the same franchises?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they have more.
But half of those are not.
Yeah, but Sony's bringing
X is not an old franchise.
No,
X is having its first sequel. I mean,
we're all hoping X gets a better name than a fucking letter.
I think what most people are criticizing
about making another Smash. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Minish. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I was interrupting you. I think what most
was another Smash, but yeah, go.
I think what most people are criticizing Microsoft about is that not that they are just announcing the same games over and over again, but their bucket of games is smaller than Nintendo and Sony. Because Sony and Nintendo, they have a handful of new IPs, but they're also just releasing Uncharted or Nintendo has Pokemon, Mario, Zelda. So I think it's kind of this. All three of them are kind of in the same region where they release the same thing over and over again. I think Microsoft has less to show. Yeah.
I think it's just Halo, Forza, and Gears, but nothing else. Like, I can understand that they're their core franchises. Fair enough. You look at the Uncharted series and that on Killzone on the PlayStation. There's the core franchises, and then there's a sprinkling of new IPs. And Microsoft didn't have that, but Nintendo needs to have its core franchises, but it really needs those games from third parties that are going to make people like me who don't really have an interest sort of sit up and go, oh, what's that? And you actually go and look and think, oh, that's quite good. And you see a load of other stuff and think, I might buy one of those now. And one local game store, this is how bad it is for the Wii U. They have one shelf of the entire store for Wii U games. And the store is quite large. And they have one shelf. And everything else is like is Blu-rays, DVDs. They're right next to Blu-rays and DVDs in the game store. And like, you know how bad your console's got to be if it's like that? If you're right next to a Blu-ray collection? Oh, well.
Yeah. Is it sad to say that I bought some third-party games like Darksiders and Deus Ex because I think that system... I don't think the Wii U is going to last too long.
You might be right. Well, I mean, like, there's nothing sad about spending your money. You spend it however you want.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
like, the fact that you brought up Darksiders, I kind of wanted to bring that game up. It's like we always say Nintendo struggles with third-party because, oh, their fan base doesn't third-party games over Nintendo. But it's like, for a fan base that grew up on Zelda, the hell could no one sell them on what is essentially a Zelda clone?
I don't know. I bought it because when THQ was going out of business, I just said this shit's gonna become rare. I thought it would become rare. But probably not.
You were immediately proven right because it's out of print.
Yeah, I mean I opened it, but it's still. I mean, it's still $20. It's $25.
One last thing on Nintendo, but
let's close it up.
Yeah, but like, so let's look at this from like maybe the angle of like the Nintendo apologist, as I like to label them. But it's like, at the same time, how about you finally throw them a bone and maybe take some of your mid-card franchises to the next level? Like, why can't, like, if you're not gonna make new IPs, how come F-Zero and Star Fox and Fire Emblem?
They're all just sitting there.
Yeah, they don't get the royal treatment that Mario and Zelda... Like, they don't get the resources that Mario and Zelda get. You get what I'm saying?
The same shit can be said about Microsoft as well.
Yeah,
really.
basically.
When you think about it, it's not just to rag on Nintendo for this. Microsoft is also sitting on a treasure trove of IPs, and they're not doing anything about them. And I'm pretty sure Sony has quite a few IPs as well that they're not doing anything with.
Well, Sony just doesn't have the sheer number of studios they need to utilize all their IPs at once. But like Microsoft, there's no fucking excuse that like Rare's IP stable is really fucking impressive. There's no excuse for not using them.
Even the new ones like Viva Pinata and things like that, they could go back to and actually make pretty good. Because as much as everybody disses on Viva Pinata, it's actually a very peaceful and relaxing game, no matter how fucking hard it is.
And it's actually quite good. Viva Pinata, Game of the Year, right, champ?
Yes. What year was it again? 2006? Yep, Game of the Year.
Yep, Game of the Year. Viva Pinata. Fuck.
Dead Rising or Company of Heroes.
I think if every company, if Sony and Nintendo kept up at the same pace, Nintendo and Microsoft kept up at the same pace as Sony over the past 2 or 3 years. I mean, Sony had what? Listen, regardless of how good or bad the games are, Sony had Beyond Two Souls. They had Journey. They had Knack. They had
I don't think we should count Knack in their favor.
Well, I'm saying whether the games are good or not. I mean, like you have to understand, kids will enjoy Knack regardless. PlayStation All Stars, no matter how good or bad that is. The Last of Us, despite the fact that that's developed by Naughty Dog, it's a Sony-owned franchise now. Like The Puppeteer or Tearaway. Like if the other two companies kept up at the same pace as Sony, releasing like 1 or 2 new IPs a year that don't need to be continued as franchises, everyone would be fine. Like, if you think about it, Sony's really the only one out of the three that's really pushed new IPs. Microsoft had State of Decay last year, but that was it. Like,
They got so many from the Xbox days that they could deal with, and they just don't. And it's
no,
like,
they're just-
it's really frustrating. I want to play another Mech Assault. I want to play another Mech Warrior. I want to
Well,
play another. What else was there? There was a couple of one there.
Well, to be
Blinks.
fair to them on Mech Assault, like that's not entirely their fault. That IP is owned by like 4 or 5 different people.
here's
Microsoft. Microsoft own the rights to Mech Warrior because
They own the rights to make games on Mech Warrior. They do not own the Mech Warrior rights.
That is the Mech Warrior rights. It's Mech Warrior is the game title, and then it's based on BattleTech. That's
Yeah,
what it
and
is. They
there's-
own the rights to Mech Warrior, which means they can use that name, which use BattleTech structures.
Stuff.
I
But
mean,
the issue is they have to be in involvement with the guys who own the BattleTech licenses to actually make a Mech Warrior game, which is why they haven't made one.
well, it
Well,
actually
they lent the IP to Piranha Games, who made
Mech
Mech
Warrior
Warrior Online, which I play on a regular basis.
Well, it seems
So-
here Microsoft owns BattleTech.
And maybe they bought it then. That's probably why. But then
Well-
it's just why are they making games? There's no audience. Bullshit. Everybody fucking loves mechs.
I mean, here's some IPs from Microsoft.
No,
That
it's owned by Tops, actually, BattleTech.
it says owned franchises and properties by Microsoft Studios.
They own the Mech Warrior rights. Like I said, that thing is a complicated legal situation. That's
Whatever.
what it is.
Like here, Microsoft has Iron Brigade, and I mean, it's pretty much a lot of what they picked up is from
Iron Skies.
there. Iron Brigade, Infinite Undiscovery that's Square.
That game suck.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it. I mean, Sony list is so much stronger. Like, this is padded out a lot by Rare. I mean, like,
Crimson
think about
Skies.
it. You have Crimson Skies, you're right.
Conquer.
Conquer, you have Jet Force Gemini, Grabbed by the
Cameo,
Ghoulies.
Black and
Banjo.
White.
We all know we
BattleTech.
want another Grabbed by the Ghoulies. I want one. I want
Phantom Dust.
I want to be grabbed by my Ghoulies. Phantom
disgusting.
Dust. Champ is right. Phantom Dust.
Crimson Skies.
Mm-hmm.
Atogi.
State of Decay. Explosion Man.
But Toki's from software, though. Is that Microsoft published that?
Maybe,
They
I
don't-
don't-
I'm looking at owned franchises and properties. They
Well,
own
Holy
Okay.
shit,
Oh,
Microsoft owns Hexic.
yeah, and they also own Blinks the Time Sweeper. Like, make something cool and like.
The world is a better place without Blinks 2.
Oh, shush. Thanks.
In fact, I think they made a Blinks 2, so the world is better off without a
did
Blinks
they,
3.
did they really?
They
Pretty
still
sure
own
that-
PGR.
Or they own
Madness.
Perfect Dark. They
They got
Tom
own
Madness.
Crimson Skies. They got
Crimson Skies.
Cameo. They got. I mean,
Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Dragon, Ludwig,
Warrior.
Banjo.
See, we all say this, but we're like ignoring the part where Microsoft could probably fuck it up, right? Like, because if they made Viva Pinata, it'd be like some kind of weird free-to-play game.
yeah.
Well,
And they just
Uh.
made a bitchin' reboot of Killer Instinct.
They did.
Semi-bitching.
I mean, but
Double
the,
Helix did. Like,
But- the ability to do it is there, and they've shown the ability to do it. And I just hope Killer Instinct is like the first of many. Like, look at your IPs. Look at what's relevant. Fucking make those games.
Yeah.
You have videos. They won't, but I can hope.
it's like, why won't you do that? It's really frustrating. I'm banging my head against the fucking wall.
yeah, I mean, like, and I think not to sound like too much of a fanboy, but Sony's just got fucking a goddamn like ballpark of shit here that they could just knock Microsoft with a 1-2.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they have Dark Cloud. They have,
They
what
own
is-
Dark Cloud?
it
Yeah,
says
they
it
do.
Here, yep. Dark Cloud, Dark Mist. They could do another. Amplitude is now coming. If they really wanted,
Derby.
Yeah,
yeah,
but they don't own Amplitude. Harmonix does.
yes.
Oh, Dropship. Oh,
Remember Dropship?
No, I do not. You know,
Oh,
they could do
great.
they could do another The Getaway if they really wanted. They could.
I tell you what, I would go fucking mental if they made another Getaway.
The
'cause
Getaway
I
one
love-
was really good.
I love that.
Clyde's
game.
mother equivalent is make Getaway 4 all is forgiven Sony.
Yeah.
They have
I-
Rapper the Rapper. They have the Rogue Galaxy. Like
They
they have
have-
this breadth.
They have even some stuff that maybe like Resident Evil Lagoon, and they even have stuff like Lair. Lair may not have been a good game, but the idea behind it, you control a giant fucking dragon, not a bad idea.
No,
Like there's value in a lot of these IPs.
It's like
even
put
if
the
games-
Warhawk and Starhawk guys on a game like Lair. I guarantee you it'll be more interesting than what Lair 1 was.
Cheap.
Hey, and
Exactly.
if worst Ubisoft can take Haze and just turn it into fucking the next Ubisoft game.
Yeah, exactly. Ubisoft game 3.0.
Yeah,
So-
Haze, the Haze
so
edition.
do we have just any like what are your E3 like real quick?
How about this? Let's just say because
start
we got to get out of here. We
closing
got to
up,
get people
yeah.
out of here. We're
We
over
gotta-
2 hours. So what is
What's your big E3?
one thing? Give us one thing you're
What's
hoping
the
out of
one thing you
E3.
want to see.
Who should go
I-
first?
Minish, go ahead.
All right. Probably something from Nintendo. Probably extended look at Project X. I'm a big fan of Xenoblade. So
Cool. How about Clyde? I said Clyde first.
Right. If
Getaway
they
3.
trot out the Getaway 4, I will go full on cow on the forums. If they
Really?
did that, I would. I
System
damn well
Wars
would.
Bets 2.0, it's happening.
What if it takes place in New York City and not in London?
That wouldn't be the Getaway then.
Okay.
It'd just be GTA.
All right, I'm just out. All right, champ.
All of it? I treat E3 like I treat the opening week of the NFL. It's all good. All the games are great because I have been deprived of so much information for so long. So when it comes to E3, I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Bring on the whole fucking spectacle. I'm excited. I'm not picking one game.
All right, cool. How about Dark Link?
With Champ, I think it's the whole fucking spectacle of it, because like even as someone who like regularly works in like the kind of the games media, like it's barren right now. Show me something cool. The other thing is like if you could have one thing, if any of those fucking companies trot out an old franchise that if Nintendo announces Star Fox, boom, okay, Nintendo wins automatically. If fucking Microsoft comes out on stage and says, hey, we're making another Conquer game, Microsoft wins. If Sony comes out and says, hey, we're making Lair 2 and it's got this respectable dev team and it looks fucking awesome, they win. Show me something cool that you're not using. Show me something new, show me something cool.
Cool.
Just show me something.
All right, cool. Animal, how about you?
I'm ballpark Half-Life 3. Just put it in my veins.
That's not happening. Pick something else.
Never. I know.
That's
Well,
not
Valve is supposedly announcing a new game.
it's probably going to be Left 4 Dead 3. Champ, I hoped for Mirror's Edge 2 for 3 years, and it happened. Half-Life 3, the C3.
They've been wishing for Half-Life 3 a lot longer than you've been wishing for Mirror's Edge 2.
Sony, get this. PlayStation 4 and Steambox exclusive. Boom.
All right, mine
So
is...
you're gonna alienate all of your fucking Half-Life customers? Yeah, that'll
No,
that'll
I'm
go
saying
great.
Steam. It's going to be on Steam.
You should Steam box.
Whatever. You get what I'm saying.
Steam OS, that's like
Steam.
just no.
Steam.
Just,
All right,
Just-
all right.
It's going to be on Steam and PS4, and the world will implode.
oh,
While you're
God,
at
yeah.
it, I'm gonna get my Xenogears sequel. So yeah, I mean, on the list of impossible things that are never fucking happening. Sure.
I want the
Half-Life
Chrome
3
Hounds.
has to happen.
Mine is a sequel to 999 #Blab. No, I'm hoping for I'm hoping for some really solid indie showings. I want to see.
Oh,
I know,
they did
hey,
that
you know what, man?
2 weeks ago.
Indies do more for me than the AAA's do.
They did it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I'm hoping for some cool indie showings. I want to see obviously Mass Effect 4. I'm excited to see where they go with that. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but part of me feels like they're going to fuck it up. I don't know how they're going to fuck it up. It feels like they're going to fuck it up.
If
but-
it's Bioware, then it will do because it. Oh, especially the Hamburglar's not right in it, is it? Is she?
No, she left.
It-
yeah.
Because having watched, like, if you go through the Mass Effect generals and that on 4chan on video games, and like you see the stuff that the developers have posted, and it's like this whole mirror quality and all that other bullshit. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, you don't have to write a fucking video game. Just why? You're ruining my favorite franchise, like you did, you bastards. I hope you all burn in hell for that fucking ending.
But yeah, I mean, you know, I pretty much the same though with Dark Link and with Champ as far as like I can't wait to ingest all of it. It's gonna all be good. I like the sentiment Dark Link with digging up the old forgotten franchise and thrusting some adrenaline into it and see what they can do with it with a good dev team. I think that might be reaching a little bit because. Although maybe we've arrived at that point. Maybe we've arrived at that point where the companies feel comfortable doing something like that with a big budget and an old franchise. But I think it's anyone's show.
We're already rebooting everything from the 80s already, so just why fucking not? I mean, personally, like, my E3 set because they're going to show Guilty Gear, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good for that whole show, but anything else is just icing on that cake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. So, Animal, get us out of here, man.
Well, guys, thanks for listening, and it was great having everyone on. Thank you for dealing with us for 2 hours. 2.5 hours.
Yeah, in 30 minutes.
I know, for fuck's sake. Never invite this many people on ever again.
Come on, you guys love us. This was a great cast.
It was.
Were you part E3 podcast last year?
Oh my god.
Oh yes.
I was
massive.
That was
time out. As much of a clusterfuck as those were, this year it's like same thing or bust.
Oh, we're doing the same thing.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna do the same thing. Yeah, next week we're gonna cover each night of the conferences. Yeah.
See, Jeff threw me for a rope because he said that it was just gonna be Dark Link and Champ, and I said, "Oh, okay." And then 4 more people showed up. And
well, yeah, because we were gonna do Champ had suggested doing the art and music, the art and video game discussion. And I was kind of jazzed for that, but as we kind of everything kind of started coming together, it made more sense to do like a pre-E3 show, considering that E3's next week. So
it was like, oh shit, E3 is right next week.
Yeah, we'll save that. We'll save that for after.
Next time, get us back. I'll be happy to talk about that shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be really cool.
Thanks for listening, everyone. This has been John. I'm gonna kick it off to say goodnight.
Yeah, thank you guys for all being on the show today, and thank you for all who listen. We greatly appreciate it. Heil's not here, but he will be back soon, and we will catch up with you guys later. If you want to sign up for E3 podcasts, just come into the Pedal to the Metal thread. Let us know you want to be on, and slide us your... We will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.
We're going to be giving out free money for E3 too. So
Champ won last year.
Free money.
Yeah. I bought Champ his game of the year last year.
Yes, you did.
Antichamber. Suck it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.